a magnificent special holiday edition of the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Orders Nation YouTube and Facebook. And hey, it is Game 7. Nothing better in pro sports than Game 7. You have the Oilers and the Canucks, first time ever they have met in a Game 7. They haven't had a Game 7 all-Canadian matchup with fans in the stands since 2004. So, lots to get to. The Oilers, of course, their most recent Game 7 was a victory on home ice against the Los Angeles Kings 2 years ago in 2022. Victorious 2-0. Mike Smith had the shutout. Cody Ceci scored the opening goal, which turned out to be the game winner. Connor McDavid had a goal and an assist and was excellent in that game for the Oilers. Meanwhile, the Vancouver Canucks last Game 7 was also a shutout, but they were on the losing end of it, 3-0 to Vegas back in 2020. Now that, of course, was with no fans. The Oilers, 2017, lost in Anaheim, Game 7, 2-1. Drake Caggiula opened the scoring for the Oilers. Then the Ducks came back with 2 goals, including the what turned out to be the game-winning goal early on in the third period of that game. So the Oilers actually, though, all-time are 7-4 in Game 7s. If they win tonight, they will have the best winning percentage of any team in NHL history in Game 7s at .750. Currently, it's Tampa Bay, who is 7-3. So they have a 70%, if you want to call it that, 700 winning percentage. The Oilers currently have the third best amongst teams that have played at least 5 Game 7s. Now, the current Winnipeg Jets have only ever played one, and they won it. They're 1-1. But they're talking in the history of the game, teams that have played at least 5 Game 7s, a victory tonight by the Oilers, they currently have the third best record. They would jump to the best. They would be 8-4. Who is going to be the hero? And trust me, there's unexpected heroes. Cody Ceci scoring in Game 7, that was unexpected. What about Matthias Janmark? As a member of the Vegas Golden Knights in 2021, in Game 7 against Dallas, scored a hat trick. There's only been 8 players all time who have a hat trick in Game 7. And Matthias Janmark is one of them. That's unreal. Glenn Anderson, of course, did not score a hat trick in Game 7. He does have 7 game-winning goals. He does have 7 goals in Game 7, which is tied for the most in NHL history. But Esa Tikkanen, Oilers fans, you probably remember that. Game 7 in Calgary, the Flames were up 3-0 in that game. Tikkanen ends up scoring from outside the blue line late in the first period. Then he ends up scoring the overtime winner from a sharp angle just on the right circle. Remember that? You watch the video, Messier can barely skate. He can barely get off the bench in 1991, and they win. The next year, 1992, Jeff Courtnall, as a member of the Vancouver Canucks, they're at home against the Winnipeg Jets, and Courtnall gets a hat trick. So 8 of the all-time Hatties have connections to the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks tonight in that game, because they're won by the Canucks, won by the Edmonton Oilers, and then, of course, Matthias Janmark, another guy who has done it. So we'll see, man. I can't wait for tonight's game. It's always exciting. It's always a little bit more exciting. The Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website. PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. Oilers, pretty big favorite tonight on the road in Game 7, if that's something that piques your interest at all. So, other news and notes from around the NHL. Of course, the Oilers, I thought a very convincing win on Saturday night. You were there probably, or you were watching it somewhere. Maybe you're at the Moss Pit or not. But it was a pretty convincing victory by the Edmonton Oilers. They didn't give up a whole bunch. Vancouver had 10 shots on goal in the first 50 minutes. They ended up with 17. But by then, the game was over. McDavid bounces back after a struggle in game 5. His whole line, that actually the fivesome, if we're going to call it that, the Fab Five of the Oilers that played a lot together, they were not very good in game 5, and they bounced back very well in game 6. Hyman scores, Bouchard scores, Kane scores, Dylan Holloway, what a best goal of the playoffs, I think, by an Oiler player this year. It's a fantastic goal. Got the team going. Kane scored for the second game in a row. It was 5 goals at 5-on-5 for the Oilers. That's what was key in that game. Nugent Hopkins scored, so you get 4 goals from their forwards, key. And to me, there's probably not going to be a lot of power plays tonight. Both teams historically, everybody knows what's on the line. It's game 7. Right? The officials, they'll call penalties, but for the most part, they try not to impact the game. I know some people are like, oh, call all the penalties. No, you don't want every call. You don't want every penalty called. Don't complain about the officials. I know I'm so tired of it. I just find it's a pointless endeavor. And you only complain when your team loses. You never complain when your team gets a call. I can't believe they called that on Vancouver. This ref's brutal. Have you ever uttered those words? Probably not. So we'll get into it. I'm curious, though, what you feel. 833-401-1440 on the text line. 833-401-1440 in our eWell inbox. Just give me your predictions. This is what we'll do. I want you to say, what's the score and who gets the game-winning goal? Whether you're an Oilers fan or Canucks fan, I'm curious. What do you think the score is going to be, and who will be the not necessarily the hero per se, because if it's a 4-1 game and you score the second goal, doesn't necessarily mean that it was the hero goal. We'll see. But I am curious how confident, how nervous Oilers fans or Canuck fans are heading into this pivotal game 7 tonight. We do know that the Oilers will start, if they win, in Dallas. Same as Vancouver. Whoever wins this game tonight will be flying to Dallas likely on Wednesday, as the Western Conference final will begin in Dallas on Wednesday. You have the Rangers and Florida. They will get going on Wednesday. It'll be Thursday in Dallas. It'll be Wednesday, Florida on the road taking on the New York Rangers. As Friday night, the Rangers, they got by Colorado. And then, that was on Thursday. And on Friday night, the Dallas Stars in overtime win. And meanwhile, the Boston Bruins unable to get the victory. Florida moves past them. And did you know, if Vancouver wins tonight, it'll be the first time in NHL history all 4 number 1 seeds, all division winners, all 4 of them, make it to the conference finals. So, obviously, Oilers, hoping that's not the case, Con Man. What do you think?
I mean, it'd be something to see. I like Oilers fans, would like to see this run keep on going a little bit longer for us, keeps us with something to talk about, and keeps the positive vibes going on here. And I mean, I feel like the Edmonton Oilers should be able to find a way to get that done, Gregor. We saw it on Saturday night. I don't know if it was an epiphany moment or things just started working for him, but the goals were just flowing in. Pucks were going on net. We saw some nice individual efforts there. That goal from Holloway was just absolutely outstanding. And Stuart Skinner did what he had to do. But I thought more importantly, the team in front of him played a strong game. There was none of those instances similar to what we saw, in the games where he had the bad goals. There wasn't the Warren Fogle turnover, the inability to clear the puck, that they were better in front of him. So to me, the blueprint is there. It's simply you go out there, you play the game that you can, and you find a way to get out of Vancouver with the win and head to Dallas. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, Vancouver's not just going to lie over. They're a good team, but I think the Edmonton Oilers know what they have to do to get the 2 points or the win tonight.
Yeah, there's no 2 points in the playoff, Con Man. It'll just be win or loss, and we'll see. We got a loaded show for you today on a special Monday edition, a holiday edition. We will have Wyatt Arndt, known as the Stanchion, will join us from Canucks Army. Dwayne Roloson, former NHL netminder. We'll talk about this, just the importance of goaltending, what he's seen from Shelovs and Skinner. Kevin Karras will be by. We'll have Kevin Woodley, Sean Brown in the 4 o'clock hour, Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. We'll get to lots of your thoughts on the series, specifically Game 7. Well, we'll give you some more Game 7 stats. I asked it earlier, and nobody on the text line got the correct answer. I know Low Tide was annoyed because he didn't know. There's not a lot of guys in tonight's game who have scored a goal in Game 7. Now, Corey Perry has 4, but he's not playing. Matthias Janmark has 3. Adam Henrique has a pair, both in the same game back in 2012, but he's out. Cody Ceci, Connor McDavid. That's it. So the Oilers have 3 skaters tonight who have a goal in Game 7. Meanwhile, the Vancouver Canucks have 1 player who has scored a Game 7 goal in his career, and he actually has 2. Conman, any guess on the? I'll give you 3 guesses. Vancouver Canucks player, the only one, and he actually has 2 Game 7 goals.
Okay, I'm trying to think back here. So you have to be with Vancouver for a little while here?
It's in his career. Because Corey Perry doesn't have 4 goals with the Oilers. Adam Henrique, Matthias Janmark. Yeah. I'm just talking guys who have scored a goal in Game 7.
Okay. Jeez. JT Miller?
No.
Connor Garland?
No.
Ooh.
Never. Connor Garland's never played in a Game 7.
I don't know.
Tyler Myers.
Okay.
Yeah, no one is getting that. You want to stump your Canuck friends who claim that they're like the greatest, they know their team? Tyler Myers scored in Game 7 as a member of the Buffalo Sabres back in 2011. And then in his second Game 7, he scored a goal as a member of the Winnipeg Jets. And then he played his third Game 7 as a member of the Canucks. They got shut out 3-0. But still, he's the only one who has a goal ever in a Game 7 by the Vancouver Canucks. So somebody on their team, unless it's a shutout, you would think is going to score their first goal in Game 7. And the Edmonton Oilers, you got CC, you got McDavid, and you got Janmark. 3 for Janmark, all in one game. That is unbelievable. That's my favorite stat that I didn't research it because I got it. I was reading up stuff and I saw that in some of the game notes that's sent out by the NHL. That's a stat that really jumped off the page for me. And then, of course, CeCe and McDavid, many of you remember that. Now, Drake Caggiula did score the other goal for the Oilers in 2017, but of course, he's not on the roster anymore. Now, there's guys who have played in Game 7s. Hyman's played in multiple ones in Toronto. Connor Brown's played in a Game 7. Obviously, the Oilers, Nurse, Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, they've all played in a Game 7. Bouchard, McLeod, Fogle, they were all here in 2022. Matthias Ekholm played in a Game 7 with Nashville. So, Vincent Desharnais, Brett Kulak's played in a few Game 7s in his career, including with Montreal. So Dylan Holloway, Sam Carrick, Vincent Desharnais, obviously Stuart Skinner are the guys on the Oilers who have not played in a game. Oh, Derek Ryan, I don't think he's played in a Game 7 either. I was looking at his career stats. Oh, no, he did. He was here in 2022. So, yeah, not a lot of guys. Now, Vancouver, they don't have a ton. Ian Cole's played a lot of Game 7s. Zadorov has played a few. You have Myers, of course. TJ Miller played in one with the Rangers. They got shut out. Other than that, not a lot. So the Oilers experience, if the big game, the big moment steps up, Edmonton has as an advantage in experience goes. Hey, boys, Oilers play like they did Saturday. They should win 4-2. Draisaitl, game-winning goal from the Ulster man. Hey, boys, it's 4-2 Oilers. Holloway with the game winner and an empty netter. Conrad in Idaho. Ooh, listen, in Idaho, I like a Conrad. Holloway with the empty netter. Ooh, that's a bold take. I like it. Hey, boys, overtime. Hyman, the winner, 3-2 from Paul. Oof. Another 4-2 score for Stu. Guys, you think either team has a chance against Dallas? You know, Stu, we'll focus on that after the series is over. But yeah, you get to the conference final, you have a chance. Dallas is good. I would say this. I think Edmonton would have a better chance than Vancouver. Because what Edmonton has, Dallas hasn't faced yet. Edmonton has 2 legit centers. They had one in Colorado, right? Edmonton has 2 scoring lines. That's the difference. Dallas is very good, don't get me wrong. And they would easily be the best team Edmonton's faced too. But I would argue that Edmonton would be the best team that Dallas has faced if they go head-to-head. So, hey, guys, I'm going with Bush Bomb and a game winner from Scott Hall. Well, Scott, it's a not bad guess considering how well he's played in the series. He's already got 4 goals in the series. And, some key goals. And by the way, all of them even strength. I know some of the Vancouver people like to say, oh, yeah, Bouchard, he only gets his points in the power play because he plays with McDavid. It's interesting when you look at who has more power play points in the series, Quinn Hughes or Evan Bouchard. It's Quinn Hughes. But Bouchard has made a significantly bigger impact. Now, I've heard some rumblings that they think Hughes is dealing with an injury, got a shoulder injury. And if that's the case, then, man, you want to pound him even more tonight if you are the Edmonton Oilers. Guys, 3-1 Oilers. Connor Brown scores a goal. Could you imagine Morinville, Greg? Could you imagine? We'll see. We got lots more text flying in. 833-401-1440. Our Ewell inbox. When we come back, the Stanch will join us, the Vancouver Canucks. And by the way, this is, I know there's a rivalry, but I have to say I was very impressed by the reaction online from Oiler fans. And I probably shouldn't be surprised. But when the news came out yesterday that Brock Besser is out, not only for this game tonight, but he's out for the playoffs. He's got blood clotting issues in his legs. And most people are like, you know what, man? Yeah, it's a rivalry, but, blood clotting can be very serious. Now, obviously, he gets the best treatment. That might explain maybe just why game 6, he wasn't very good. Right? You got blood clotting issues, and it's in your legs. Maybe just, you're not feeling yourself. That's very possible. But blood clotting is no joke. It can result in death at times. So can sometimes lead to a stroke. So it's a serious thing, and it's a big blow for them. 40-goal score out of your lineup for Game 7. So the Canucks are actually Rick Tocchet. They've juggled their lines significantly. Mikheyev and Elias Pettersson are now going to play with JT Miller tonight. It was Suter and Besser for basically the whole series. And then you have Lindholm's going to center Garland and Dakota Joshua. Then they've got Bluger with DiGiuseppe and Amon, and then Suter with Höglander and Sam Lafferty. So they kind of try to spread their offense out over 3 lines. Obviously, it really hasn't worked. And so now they'll go with 2. But so JT Miller's had a lot of the time against Connor McDavid. Pettersson and Mikheyev now are going to face that line. A little bit more speed, but can Edmonton wear them down a little bit physically? The 2 wingers. We'll see. We'll talk about that next on the Gregor Show on Sports 1440 with Connor Halley, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, it's Dennis from Weiss Johnson, and soon we'll be back to those sweaty, sweltering, sleepless summer nights. Unless you're enjoying the cool comfort of a new Goodman air conditioner installed by the pros from Weiss Johnson. Beat the heat and the rush. We're already getting calls for Goodman AC installs, so why suffer? Why sleep in the basement? Not a chance. Get your best quote on a Goodman air conditioner with no misleading information or offers. Visit wjcools.com today.
Barbecue lovers, this is the experience you dream of. Smoke, barbecue, and bar. Indulge your barbecue fantasies with fall-off-the-bone ribs, tender pulled pork, smoked chicken wings, and more. Featuring a variety of custom dry rub flavors. The cocktail menu brims with classics and new favorites to discover. For stylish corporate events or an unforgettably tasty night out, Edmonton's home for barbecue is Smoke Barbecue and Bar, downtown across from the Ice District. Smokebar.ca.
An accident. And it wasn't your fault.
How can I access funds for treatment?
What if I have to change jobs?
How do I even figure out how much my claim is worth?
What if my car is a write-off? Is there funding for help with the housework?
It feels like no one has my back.
Robinson LLP does. Visit RobinsonLLP.com to find your injury lawyer. Robinson LLP, the recovery team.
Major League Baseball isn't coming to Edmonton anytime soon, so Network Travel is taking Edmonton baseball fans to a Major League game. See the Jays play by the Bay in Seattle. You'll fly direct Sunday, July 7th on a private charter with Canadian North. After the game, you'll fly home the same day. And when your coworkers ask,
"Did you catch the game yesterday?"
you can say, "I was there. It was amazing." Secure your seat to see the Jays play by the Bay today at networktravel.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling doesn't just heat your home. We heat the water in your home with hot water tanks installed from $14.99 a month.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
To have us bring comfort to the shower in a non-creepy way. Take or protect this. Your hot water system has no payments, no interest for a year with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
What? Maybe something of the action, unless you're this guy.
Go Sport.
$225. Happy Victoria Day. And more importantly, happy Game 7, which I think is much a bigger day and be celebrated for sure a lot more in Edmonton and Vancouver tonight. People planning watch parties. Maybe you're going to the watch party tonight. Maybe you're watching with your friend. Hey, maybe you jumped out on a plane into Vancouver, or you're listening from BC and heading to the game tonight. Either way, have a lot of fun. It should be a hell of a time. Great atmosphere. It's going to be rocking in Vancouver tonight, no doubt about it. Let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And hey, all summer long at McDonald's, you can enjoy a $1 self-serve vanilla cone. Order's yours, though, only through the app. So get the app and order it today, only at McDonald's. And gentlemen who are on social media, on Twitter, you know him as the Stanchion, of course. Wyatt Arndt joins us now from Canucks Army as the Oilers and the Canucks are going at it. And some significant lineup changes and lineup juggling for the Canucks due to the unfortunate injury is not the right word for Brock Besser. He's got blood clotting in his legs. He's out for tonight, and he's out for the remainder of the playoffs. Wyatt, thanks for taking the time joining us. That's obviously a huge blow for the Vancouver Canucks. For Besser, sounds like everything's going to be okay long term, but a huge blow. And are you surprised that Rick Tocchet elected to change both of the wingers for JT Miller tonight? Pettersson and Mikheyev will at least start the game with JT Miller.
I think the Canucks, this entire playoffs have kind of struggled to generate shots and offense, and that's kind of been the big issue. Like, going forward, just looking past this season, you're worried about this team's offensive depth. So Besser obviously had been one of their best goal scorers, and him and Miller had been integral to them getting to this point anyway. So I think from talk, I kind of see it, right? Pedersen's been struggling, and Miller is a really good playmaker. Maybe you put those two together, they get some juice. Because last game, Edmonton's big boys said it. They showed up to play. The big boys showed up for Edmonton. So I think Vancouver's got to have a bit of pushback. You get the matchups you want on home ice. Maybe you just kind of put that together and see if you got a little bit of juice there. And I don't think it's desperate. I think it's just him just trying to squeeze as much offense as he can out of his best players.
Well, it looks like he's loaded up his two lines, right? He's going to go Lindholm with Garland and Joshua, who I think have outside of Miller and Besser, they've been the next 3 and 4 best forwards for sure. And Lindholm's been pretty decent. So that line likely will go up against Draisaitl. The Miller line goes up against McDavid's line. How do you feel, Mikheyev? Like, Mikheyev, I know, people look at numbers and, possession and stuff. They'll say, hey, he's played well. The guy has 1 goal in 60 games. But how do you feel, him and Pedersen's defensive game will be if they have to defend at times against the McDavid line?
I mean, that's the one thing we kind of joke about it in, like, we had Louis Eriksson in Vancouver long ago, all with the little things he did. You tried, he has a big copy of Leonard, but at least he's doing the little things if you're not scoring. And that's the thing with Pedersen and Mikheyev. Yeah, they're not scoring all the time, but their underlying profiles aren't bad defensively. Like, they are decent at that matchup. We're all at the point now where everyone's injured. You're wondering how much that's playing into everyone's play. Like, is it Pedersen mental? Is it physical? Mikheyev's coming off that ACL surgery. We're all talking about maybe next season where he starts kind of coming off. Like, he's always been about speed. His hands have never been, like, you don't sign that guy for goals. Like, he has one move, which is shoot at the goalie, which, hey, might work on Skinner if he's not feeling it. We don't know. But it's one of those things where, I think defensively, I'm comfortable with what Mikheyev can do. It's just more about, can they get goals, right? Like last game, 15 shots. If the Canucks want a game plan for game 7, you can't repeat that.
No. And speaking of offense, Quinn Hughes, when they're on the ice this series, at 5-on-5, they've only had 1 goal with him on the ice. Now I think they've only, 2 now. It's 2-2. So, like, he's not giving up a lot, but like, he's a really dynamic guy. I've heard some rumblings that maybe he's got a shoulder injury or not, which, wouldn't surprise me at this point. But how much has that impacted, you think, that like just Quinn Hughes hasn't looked like, the Quinn Hughes that we've seen before, even in round 1 against Nashville, other than the one game where they had the great comeback, he really hasn't been kind of the maestro of their offense.
Yeah, you kind of, Quinn Hughes has stirred the drink for this team for so long. And injury, I bet there is something to that. I also think there's a point that Miller made after game 5 where the Canucks are, maybe respecting Draisaitl and McDavid a little too much. So I think they maybe are playing a bit passive, because those are like 2 best players in the NHL. You're going to kind of try and contain them as much as you can. So maybe Quinn's playing a bit back because he's still playing 26 minutes. He's still helping the team tilt the ice in terms of shots. But like you said, that dynamic offense, like he reminds me of a basketball player. He comes in just like a little like quick stutter step, and guys back up because his edge work is so fantastic. We haven't seen that edge work. One of the things about Quinn Hughes when he's at the blue line, you'll see him doing a lot of moves and kind of dipsy doodling. You see him just passing it off a lot now. Like, he's not doing anything dynamic from the back end. So you're right. Like, that's one of the things that was the key factors for the Canucks in offense is Quinn Hughes is such an important player. And if he's hurt and not feeling it, like, that's one of the big reasons why we're not seeing offense from this team.
Wyatt Arndt joins us from Canucks Army as the Oilers and Canucks, first time ever, they will meet game 7 head-to-head. Tonight, the Oilers are 7-4 all-time in game 7s. The Canucks are 6-6. Why you look at, there's always, I was going through game 7 histories, and, my favorite stat ever is that Matthias Janmark is one of only 8 players all time to have a hat trick in and you could have, I asked that question, people would have went through almost every player on the roster before they got to him. There's always unexpected guys and heroes. Do you sense that guy, in the bottom 6 or a defenseman that might step up? Is there somebody you feel is due, or somebody who's shown you maybe an ability to step up at a key time? I think we lost Wyatt there. I don't know what happened, Cons. Oh, his mic's muted. There we go. So we'll see. Looks like everything's good. I accidentally hit the mute button. Oof. Could have a few Vancouver jokes about that. Tell you that right now. So we'll see. But the the Canucks and every team, the Oilers, not that they can have an unexpected hero. I think there's a better chance that it comes from them.
I'm so exuberant. I knocked out my mic cord. Sorry. Yeah, that's the first Vancouver mistake of the night. My bad. Hopefully that is not a bad metaphor for tonight.
Oh, nice. Do you see somebody who's like capable of being that surprise hero for the Canucks?
I think everyone, That's the thing. Like for me, if Quinn Hughes can have a statement game, it's weird to say that they're star players to those guys, but like Elias Pettersson, right? Like that we're waiting for that big game. Like the crowd's chanting his name, and again, like half the players, like how much does it hurt? How much is it mental? But I think with Pettersson, it's probably a bit of both because his shot, you see him shoot the puck, there's no flex on it. I think there's something going on, but mentally as well, you can see like he's just not the same player either. So for me, it's time for a statement game for the big boys. Like we saw game 5, Philip DiGiuseppe steps up. That's awesome. And that probably will play a big part. Cause like you said, the top 2 lines are trying to handle McDavid and Draisaitl. If that 4th line comes up huge for them, like that was massive in game 5. But for me, like end of the day, this is game 7. Everything's on the line. It's up to your big boys to step up. And I think Pettersson and Hughes, there's a lot of pressure on them.
Wyatt Arndt joins us. What about Sheelos? How would you evaluate his play top to bottom in the series?
I feel like Sheelov's is the same thing where people view, Pickard the same thing. Like they played well, but like they didn't get tested a lot. Like I think Sheelov has done fantastic. Like again, third string guy comes in, he's played fantastic. But Vancouver's also played really well around him. That's why I wonder, because like there's a difference when you have Demko back there when you can really push the pace, right? Because you just kind of trust him. And I think the team is learning to trust him, but understandably, they're pretty protective of him when he comes in. They're trying to play a very conservative game and not, give up a lot of all-man rushes. But overall, I think Sheelov's has played well. I think his puck tracking can be a bit slow at times. I think sometimes he makes himself small in net. Like when you have Demko in there, he's just a wall. He stands up straight. His technique is so on point. Sheelov's got a bit of that, hatchet in him, that bit of that scramble, bit of that diving to him. So I think the same, like Edmonton's probably thinking the same thing Vancouver's thinking. Get shots on net, right? Test this guy, see what he's got.
Well, that's the thing about the Canucks. Like even against Nashville, like they just haven't generated a lot. Now, you know what? I know that they weren't the team in the first month of the season when they were just scoring lights out, right? Like I've looked at their numbers from January on. They wanted to limit goals and they didn't score as much, but they didn't shoot this little and didn't score at this low of a number that we've seen in the postseason. Do you if they're going to win tonight? Can they open it up, or do you say, hey, guys, we got to game 7 by playing the same way. We got to stick with that?
Well, I mean, yeah, if Besser's out and if Quinn Hughes is injured, if they're trying to deal with that, I think they'll play a bit more of this kind of dump and chase, kind of, trying to gut it out with the puck control, which can work. Because Rick Talk is a big fan of getting shots with layers in front of the net. He always talks about layers, like get those shots on the point and, have screens and tips. And that's, that is a bit of a playoff, the greasy goals everyone talks about, right? But when the team takes away the middle of the ice and those shots aren't going through, or you're missing those, backdoor passes, like then you look terrible. And we saw it against Nashville with Vancouver as well. They had some games where it just felt like they were just hoping that a shot from the point would go in. And at some point, you've got to get into the areas and get good shots off in close. And I think a lot of the times they're just kind of hoping that like maybe a point shot goes through. And when you take Quinn Hughes out of the mix, like he does so much for this team in terms of creating room out there. I think that's what they're really struggling with, is having no one on the back end that can kind of create the room that they need to get those shots in close.
Now, in Edmonton, if the Oilers lose tonight, there's going to be massive frustration for all offseason. I don't think there's any question about it. How do you view it in Vancouver? Is it because there's no Demko? Now you throw in Besser. It's Tocchet's first full year as a head coach. They won the division. They get to game 7. Is it all roses and lollipops, or is there still going to be a significant amount of frustration?
I think the fact that the Canucks are up 3-2 in the series and they're losing to another Canadian franchise, because like the trash talking that has been going on between the fan bases, like that's on the line as well. And I think there's going to be a bit of like frustration if they lose that. I think overall though, like this is like the best season they're going to have in terms of having fan support, in terms of like, wow, we're just so happy to be here. Because next year, obviously, last year was the second round. Like if they don't hit that level, then there's going to be disappointment. This year, no one expected the playoffs. No one expected them to do this well. Everyone doubted them. Even like when the playoffs started, every team's like, I'd like to face Vancouver. So I think there's a bit of that kind of spite. Like you counted us out. We want to prove you wrong. Taking Edmonton to 7 is still, accomplishment. If they lose, that's still like, hey, they took one of the 2 best players to 7. And like you said, Besser's out. So there is a lot of, things they can fall back on and be like, hey, that was still a fantastic season. I think after a couple of months and after the anger of losing to Edmonton, if that happens to sides, people will be extremely happy with the season. But I think overall, yeah, like it's just right now, it's just there's so much tension about losing to the Oilers in this city right now. You can feel it in the air.
Yeah, and not to look too far ahead, but you got Myers, Zadorov, Lindholm, Dakota Joshua. Those are some of the main guys. I know they got Bluger and other guys, but lower end guys, to me, is not the same thing. What's the offseason going to look like in Vancouver, regardless of whether they win or lose tonight? What do you see about like which of those guys do you think are the must-haves for them to want to come back?
I mean, that's what you're going to see. You're going to have to see about what injuries are going to help put players back. As Hronek as well is coming up with a contract, and he played fantastic for the first half of the season, but in the second half really tailed off. He has been a non-factor. You wonder if he's playing injured, right? And so, but again, like Hronek, when he's playing well, I think like obviously Quinn Hughes carries that, but there's something to be said about a very skilled player playing with another skilled player. They kind of get how they work. So I think that's an important thing. But then you have to debate how much do you want to go with recency bias, and Zadorov has been like just a legend in this run for Vancouver, just in terms of physicality, getting offense and just like everything. And then even Tyler Myers' game has kind of come around. Tyler Myers, people were counting down the days till his contract was done. Now they're like, hey, maybe get him back for $3-4 million, right? Like, so honestly, I think for like the Canuck fans, like Joshua, it's all about pricing themselves out of the market. There's a price you want to spend. If Joshua wants to cash in, like I like him, but there's a point where maybe you walk away from it. So I am very happy I'm not making these decisions because there's like 5 players that you kind of have to balance. Like I'm sure they'd love to have Lindholm, but he's going to be expensive. Hronek as well, right-handed shot defenseman, a lot of money in the open market, even if he's injured right now. So this team could look drastically different next season.
Wyatt, what's your prediction tonight?
It's going to be close. I don't think it'll be a blowout. So I'm going to go 4-2 Canucks. I got to go with the Vancouver team. But you know what? Whoever wins, like I wouldn't be surprised, right? It's just such a close series. Like they say, like there's no momentum in the playoffs. It feels like it's been 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss. It's been a fantastic series. Evander Kane and Zadorov have been the highlight for me. How much they hate each other. So I just want to see one last round of that.
Well, it's you know what, you got to have the passions. I thought they were going to throw down. That'd have been awesome, but didn't happen late in that game 6. We appreciate it, Wyatt. Enjoy the game. Should be a hell of an atmosphere.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
There you go. That's Wyatt Arndt joining us from Vancouver. The Canucks and the Oilers tonight, Game 7. The Oilers franchise 7-4 all time. In the McDavid era, they are 1-1 in Game 7s. Lost in Anaheim 2-1, beat LA at home 2-0. So they are looking to, of course, they lost in Carolina on the road. The last time the Oilers, do you remember the last road victory in Game 7? Well, they had 2 in back-to-back years, 1998 in Denver. Curtis Joseph shutout against the Colorado Avalanche. Also won on the road Game 7 against the Dallas Stars. Not bad. We'll take a quick break. Dwayne Roloson will join us next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
As the snow melts and the flowers bloom, don't let sunken concrete dampen your spirits. This spring, Trademark Concrete Lift and Leveling is here to lift your spirits and your concrete. With our quick, friendly lifting process, we're ready to tackle those trip hazards and water pooling problems head on with our vast knowledge and expertise. Trademark Concrete Lift and Leveling, where your ground gets a new lease on life. Visit trademarkleveling.com or call 780-691-LIFT. That's 780-691-5438.
It's officially spring. Whether you're a seasoned landscaper or starting a new lawn care company, the Lawnmower Hospital can help with everything you'll need. From aerators and power rakes to walk lawnmowers, lawn edgers, and zero-turn tractors. Financing is available. Make spring yard care a breeze with the Lawnmower Hospital. LawnmowerHosp.com.
We're more than mowers, the Lawnmower Hospital.
Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 or more. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Book online today. I can tell by the look on your face you're thinking about it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling Jingle auditions take 1 for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat.
Legacy, Legacy.
We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah, well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
0%. Yup, you heard that right. 0% financing is now available on most Cub Cadet lawnmowers at WPM. If you have a lawn that needs mowing, there's nothing better suited for the job than a Cub Cadet zero-turn lawnmower, especially when you're paying no interest up to 48 months on select models. Come check out what the professionals use when maintaining their grass at Westlock Power Sports and Marine on Highway 44 or visit us online at wpm.ca today. Conditions apply. Interest always see.
Great memories that last forever can be built around the dinner table, and Sandy View Farms wants to be there for every moment. Sandy View supplies you with quality meat, setting the table for any delicious meal, supporting the community by turning to local farmers for a great supply of beef, bison, pork, and chicken with a continuous supply every week. They have the perfect selection no matter the occasion, making each one perfect. Stop by Sandy View Farms or call 780-962-0067 to place an order today.
Big Brothers Big Sisters ignites the potential in every child. We're calling upon our community. Visit bigbrothersbigsisters.ca. Donate or volunteer today. Together, we can create a bright tomorrow for all our children.
Hey, Edmonton sports fans. This is Jason Smith from Fox Sports. Weeknights starting at 9. Join me and Mike Harmon as we talk about what happened today in sports and updates on games in play. That's weeknights 9 to midnight on Sports 1440.
Wanna hate on us, we envy us. I know why they hating on us. Could stop it.
.244, welcome back. Special holiday edition of the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. As always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, and it is Game 7. Hey, that's why you come on a holiday, man. It's Game 7. Fans are fired up. Oilers and the Canucks, first time ever they will meet in a Game 7. You have lots of players on the Oilers who have played in Game 7s. The only guys who haven't played in a Game 7 are Holloway, Desharnais, Skinner for the Oilers on their side. Vancouver has quite a few more. They got a lot younger team. So we'll see if that factors in or not. Let's get to our big guest of the day today, brought to you by Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment, innovative market leader across Western Canada with properties including the Seattle Thunderbirds, the Spruce Grove Saints, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly established female Super League. That is Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment. And we are joined by a gentleman who's a big fan favorite for Oiler fans, of course, from their excellent 2006 run to the Stanley Cup final. Dwayne Roloson joins us. Dwayne, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, man, Game 7, like you played in Game 7s. You've been around a long time, but even like as somebody who played in them, do you appreciate it even more now when you watch it, just because you know how the guys are going to feel heading into that game?
I wish I was there playing in it. They're always fun to play, right? There's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, but at the same time, they're a lot of fun to play in, and you just live in the moment and have fun with it. And for me, it's those were highlights for me. I really enjoyed playing in those games. A lot of people didn't, but I really did.
You mentioned that a lot of people didn't. Could you tell in a game when a guy is maybe a little bit overwhelmed by the situation, and either a teammate has to calm him down, coach has to calm him down, or maybe the coach just plays him less?
Yeah, it's you sort of get a feel before, when guys are in the locker room, when, guys' routines are not as clean. Everyone does their own routines. And now with the way the game's changed, everyone does their activation and together, and then they play their soccer, and they're hanging out, so you sort of get to know when a guy's tight or not. And you sort of try to do it before you get on the ice, and then in warm-ups, if it's somebody, it's a little tight, they get a puck on their stick in warm-ups, you're trying to knock his puck off and, try to get them to relax by jokes or, tripping them up or doing something to calm them down. And, it's, each person is different. A lot of people want to be on edge and play better on edge. And a lot of people play better relaxed. So it's the guys within the room that sort of monitor that. And the coaches are, they're always there. They at that point, everything's been done, right? A guy's gripping the stick a little bit. It's a little shoulder rub, tap on the back, and let's get her going. You're fine, and go have some fun. And that's the biggest thing, is realizing it's fun. Go out and enjoy the moment, and guys will have success.
Dwayne Roloson joins us. Dwayne, of course, the position you played, there's lots of pressure on goaltenders. And when you watch a game, can you tell early, if a goalie's shaky or nervous or feeling it? Can you tell, from the position maybe better than most of us?
Yeah, you can. There's a lot of small things that go into it that, that I would be looking at. And, you can tell when a guy's just a little bit nervous. And, even when I was in Anaheim working with the Ducks there, like I could tell when Freddie Anderson or John Gibson were a little nervous, especially in playoffs, just radio down, just have a player go over and give them a little chat, or, you can sort of relay messages, and, the goalie coaches usually have an idea of what's going on with the goalie specifically. And you've been around them so much, and, fortunate or unfortunate thing, you have one guy for two guys. And so you get to know the guys really well. And so you see the little nuances in their game, and, when they're going well or when they're not going so well. And you don't want to tinker a little during a game, but at the same time, if something's going a little wrong, you can radio down and say, hey, can you have somebody go talk to him or whatever? Or if it's towards the end of the period, you can sort of go in and talk to him, in between periods. Like Pete Peters used to come down all the time, and, he needed an ice bag for years. Things were going well. It's like, hey, let's rebound control here. They're getting a little away from you. Like, focus on the rebounds, and, small little things like that. And Pete was awesome with me, and he was able to help me control things and things that helped me succeed. He was on me when they weren't going so well. So it's easy to do, and you just got to pick the right spots and know how to talk to your goalies.
Dwayne Roloson joins us. So Dwayne, you mentioned, rebound control. What's a goalie doing wrong when they're not controlling the rebounds? And then how easy is it for an NHL goalie to fix his rebound control?
Well, rebound control there's a lot of things that go into it, right? Screens, deflections, by guys, there's some shots they're uncontrollable, right? Yeah. You can't control the rebound, but it's when you're controlling rebounds, it's, you get a scene shot, no traffic, and there's an opportunity to control it. Depending if it's on the ice or up in your body or in your hands, being able to control it is fairly easy. It's just what's gone on before the shot is the biggest thing. And, when I was scouting in Anaheim, and analytics was just coming in, my biggest thing wasn't the shot analytics. It was what happened before the shot analytics. Was there a screen? Was there deflection? Did the puck go across the Royal Road, as they call it now, which is the center ice area?
Yeah.
What happened before the shot? Because the goalie's got to move and get into position. So if they're set and they see a shot, they should be able to control the rebound, no problems. And, and those are the simple things that, Pete would always be on me. And I'm sure Justin's on picks and Skinny too. So like to make sure control over rebounds, and especially playoff time, like, you want to slow the game down as much as you can. You want to, in the D zone, try to get a whistle, because, when you're running around, that's when bad things happen. And the more you can slow it down in your own D zone and get whistles, the better it is. And, everyone's starting from a 50-50 puck, and everyone knows their positions on the ice when it's coming from a face-off versus a puck in a corner that's going hard and guys are going to it. And you just don't know what's going to happen at that point.
Dwayne Roloson joins us, talking goaltending. And Dwayne, of course, you got Shelovs, you got Skinner, both guys. This is their first ever Game 7. Neither one of them have a ton of experience. Skinner obviously has a little bit more. And, he talk about the mindset of a goalie. So he's their starter. He's their go-to guy. They go to their backup for Game 4 and 5 and Calvin Pickard, and they win one and lose one. And Pickard, I thought, played pretty well. They go back to Stuart Skinner in Game 6, and he was solid. He wasn't tested a lot, but, he made the saves when he needed to make it. Going into this game, and you were a goalie coach, so like the scouting reports, as much as it's about your team, you're doing a lot of scouting to the opposing goaltender. If you were breaking down from what you've seen in the series on Shelovs, what is it that the orders are? How should they be attacking him?
Sort of what they did last game, and mentioned before, is you got to get traffic. You got to get to the danger areas, or not the danger areas, the danger areas physically on your body. But, Vancouver does a great job of protecting in front of their net. They keep the Oilers, they've kept the Oilers, pretty much every loss to the outside, made his job a lot easier. You got to get to the net front. You got to go to the dirty areas or the painful areas to score goals. It's playoff hockey now, and those are the goals that go in. The guys getting in front of that, guys paying the price. Look at Hyman's goal, like it just last game, and he's just in front of the net. You know what I mean? He takes a swipe at it. It just, even skating through. Corey Perry made a living on it. How many goals he scored when he from 1 foot outside the blue paint. I joked with Corey there for when he scored 50. It's like, Corey, he probably scored 45 of them from inside the crease. And, guys like Pears, like getting there, creating havoc, just hanging around there. You got to penetrate their front door, if you want to call it, and get to the front of the net and hang out there, and just hopefully things go off your butt, off your foot. Good things happen when you hang out there, and that's what they got to do. They got to penetrate there, and in their own end, they got to be not cautious. They got to have puck possession mindset. Break out clean. Let's make sure we get pucks out of our zone. No turnovers in our D zone, and for a lot of the games they lost, 3 or 4 times they're turning pucks over, ends up in the back of the net. And I was on with Bob Stoffer early in the series, and I was like, Bob, you can't get on Skinner here. You got 2 guys covering 1, and now your guys are wide open in the slot. Like, you got to make sure you're covering your man and doing the little things in your D zone. As much as it's cliche, but it's literally, it's do the little thing. Chip it out if you have to, and if we get running around, it's okay to ice it. It's not a big deal. So just like I said earlier, with the goalie slowing plays down, players got to do it too, just to make sure that everyone's on the same page in the D zone.
Lastly, Dwayne, you've been on teams where I think you knew as the goal, like, man, I'm going to have to stand on my head here if we have a chance to win. And other times you've been on a team where, you know what, I just got to be solid because we are the better team and we should win. And I think the latter really fits the orders. They've outshot Vancouver heavily in most of these games. They probably could have won a few more than they did earlier in the series, and it probably could be over tonight. So is it easier or harder sometimes? Especially because they'll go lots of times. Skinner's barely seen any shots, right? And no goalie, I think, likes that. But is it easier in a sense to know that, I just got to be steady. I don't need to be spectacular, and we should win?
Yeah, and that's the mindset that I always sort of went into any game with, is just give our guys a chance to win. And when the guys were down in Tampa early in the year, I had an opportunity to talk to Stuart a little bit, and that's before, was just after the coaching changes. You're playing fine. You're playing well. Just give them a chance to win day in and day out. That's all you can do as a goalie. You can't worry about anything else. Focus on that save. Don't focus on the save before or the save after. Focus on that save. Give them a chance to win. Stop the ones you're supposed to stop. And if you steal a couple that you're not supposed to, then that gets your team going. And and that's the mindset for any goalie going in, is layman's terms, simple. Just give him a chance to win, and that's all you got to do. And hopefully he can. Hopefully he stands up. He doesn't have to stand on his head tonight, and just make the simple saves and be a nice routine game.
Hey, Rolly, Kevin Carey is here. How's it going, big guy?
Hey, Kev, how you doing?
Good, good. I just have one question for you. About 15, 16 years ago, we went out after a game in New York. Do you remember that night? Because I sure the hell don't.
No, I don't remember too many things. So, no, it's New York City gets away from me a little bit, doesn't it?
Few times. Dwayne, what's your expectation for tonight? What are you thinking? What happens?
Well, I think it's going to be everyone. They're going to feel each other out early. Hopefully the Oilers come out strong like they did last game, and that's my gut, is that they're going to come out strong and with a lot of energy, and hopefully they can keep that energy all the way through and not let Vancouver get any resistance back. Just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Try to create ozone play, and I know as a goalie, you don't want that on your end. For me, I didn't like it when I didn't have a lot of shots, but they can get on and get one early, and then start putting some doubt into the Canucks mindset. And as soon as they start doubting, then things become a lot easier. And it's never easy in a Game 7, but it's sort of that little bit of doubt in the opponent's mind. So I'm hoping it's like a 4-1, 5-1 game tonight for the Oilers, and then moving on against Dallas.
Well, it should be fun. Dwayne, always great to catch up with you, man. Have an awesome day. Enjoy the Game 7.
All right. Thanks. You too, guys.
There you go. That's Dwayne Roloson. Really good breakdown on the rebound control. And I agree. Like the one thing that probably didn't get talked about a lot. So Skinner hadn't played in 2 games. He comes in and he had 6 shots faced through like the first 29 minutes of that game. It was only 10 through the first 50. And likely the Oilers, they scored on their chances. But if that's a 2-1 game, I just wonder if it's a lot harder for the goalie to play. So I look for the Oilers. You know what? It sounds odd, but they're like, hey, if you want to give up a few kind of easy softball shots, just allow the goalie to feel it rather than go 7-8 minutes without a shot. I know it sounds kind of odd, but you want to get some rubber on the goalie. But if the Oilers get up 3 or 4, then it doesn't matter. And if they take care of business, because I do think they're the better team, I think they've showed that. A lot of the metrics in the series will show that. Skinner's got to play his game, no question. Obviously, the game-winning goal in Game 1 to Garland, that goal shouldn't go in. No question about it. So he will need to be better. Not great, just be solid. We'll come back. Kevin Karras is joining us in studio. We have Kevin Woodley coming up later on, Sean Brown, spec more on the Oilers and the Canucks in a Game 7, the 12th Game 7 in Oilers franchise history. They are 7-4. It'll be the 13th Game 7 in Canucks history. They are 6-6. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer at legacyheating.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game 7 is finally here tonight out in Vancouver. Oilers and Canucks meeting. Puck drop just after 7 o'clock for the Oilers. Lineup staying the same. Stuart Skinner gets the start between the pipes. On Vancouver side, head coach Rick Tocchet telling reporters that core Vasily Podkolzin will not play in Game 7. Ilya Mikheyev and Sam Lafferty will draw in. And as reported earlier, Brock Besser will miss Game 7 tonight. Also reports on Sunday saying the 27-year-old winger is dealing with blood clotting. The issue is not considered life-threatening. Major League Baseball right now, Jays on top of the White Sox 5-3. That's in the bottom of the 7th. Later today, the Mets are in Cleveland. Braves host the Padres in Game 2 of their doubleheader. Game 1, Pods won 6-5. Still have the Brewers in Miami. Rays taking on the Red Sox. Yankees travel for hosting the Mariners in the Bronx. Tigers in Kansas City. Dodgers up against the Diamondbacks. And one game in the CFL's preseason. Right now, the Rough Riders lead the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 9-3 in the second quarter. The Edmonton Elks making a move today, signing American quarterback Cole McDonald. He returns to the CFL after spending parts of the 21 season with the Toronto Argonauts. He most recently played in the XFL in 2023 with the Houston Roughnecks. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Sports 1440's very own Kevin Carius. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Some people prefer pre-owned to saying used. Sherwood Honda will happily sell you a used vehicle. But first, it will be pre-Sherwood Honda certified with a 159-point pre-inspection. Then pre-stored to Sherwood Honda's high standards. Then they pre-guarantee the lowest finance rates and prevent problems with the 30-day exchange privilege. Pre-owned or used, Sherwood Honda actually has plenty of both in stock with a buying experience you sure would prefer.
An accident. And it wasn't your fault.
How do I get the compensation and support I need?
How do I get treatment paid for?
Why does an insurance adjuster want to meet with me?
Where do I even start with all this paperwork?
What if I never get better?
Feels like no one has my back.
Robinson LLP does. Visit RobinsonLLP.com to find your injury lawyer. Robinson LLP, the recovery team.
Make your dream home a reality with Jandel Homes. Discover the latest in home decor and stunning color palettes in our brand new show homes. From the site inspection to after-sales service, Jandel Homes makes sure everything is done right the first time, so you can focus on what truly matters, living well. See for yourself how Jandel Homes stands apart by putting your needs first, every step of the way. Visit us today and tour our new show homes. Jandel Homes, built for living, built for you.
Great memories that last forever can be built around the dinner table, and Sandy View Farms wants to be there for every moment. Sandy View supplies you with quality meat, setting the table for any delicious meal, supporting the community by turning to local farmers for a great supply of beef, bison, pork, and chicken with a continuous supply every week. They have the perfect selection no matter the occasion, making each one perfect. Stop by Sandy View Farms or call 780-962-0067 to place an order today.
Be cool, glass coatings. For keeping those UV rays at bay.
Keeping heat, fading, and glare away.
For sun control and a whole lot more.
With the quality you've been looking for.
Be cool, glass coatings. Sun control and security.
For home or office, think of the B.
When you want it done right, it's got to be. Be cool, glass coatings. Be like the bubble, cool glass coatings.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And I'm Zach Hyman. And when we're not making juicy sweet passes or having my goals disallowed, we're working for Legacy Heating and Cooling. You know, guys used to call me a plumber. And now they call you an AC repairman. Nice.
Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the jingle.
Oh.
Well.
Okay. Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year from qualified installers. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
For over 65 years, Dedham Ford has delivered the customer service and value that keeps Albertans moving. And that tradition continues with the all-new 2024 F-150. Lease one today with $1,000 down and pay just $299 bi-weekly, taxes included. That's the value you've come to expect from where cars always cost less. The F-150 $299 driveway lease, only at Dedham Ford in Wetaskiwin or at DedhamFord.ca.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Jaffa Machinery. Jaffa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit jaffamachinery.com for all the details.
Just after 3 o'clock. How are you? Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook on a lovely Monday afternoon as the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks are set to do battle. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Go to PlayAlberta.ca. Use the promo code Gregor50, and you will get yourself a free $50 wager with a minimum $5 deposit at PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, make it count. Are you feeling lucky? Game 7 tonight. The Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks. No lineup changes for the Edmonton Oilers. The Canucks will have Brock Besser out of the lineup tonight, and they will then switch up their top few lines. They're going to have JT Miller centering Elias Pettersson and Ilya Mikheyev, who has 1 goal in his last 60 regular season and playoff games. They'll have Lindholm with Dakota Joshua and Connor Garland. That line's been quite good, albeit they played with different guys. You got Bluger, DiGiuseppe, and Nils Amon. And then now they'll move Puis Suter, Hill Center, Nils Höglander, and Sam Lafferty. So that's the lineup. Up on defense, no changes. Hughes and Roenick, Myers and Soucy, Zadorov and Ian Cole. And it'll be Shilovs versus Stewart Skinner. As we welcome in studio, had the morning off, but is coming in now from Kevin Carey Show. Kevin Karras. D-Bird, how you doing?
Good morning, Greg's. It's a little different. See, I'm on the morning thing.
Yeah.
Good morning, but it's a little different coming here in the afternoon. I know it's holiday Monday, but I think I had to park by Cactus Club.
Yeah, the mall is a little bit busier today.
I mean, you come here at 6 a.m, and I was just talking to the Duke. I said, "Where did you park, man?" And it's like, holy cow! I mean, I'm way around the other side of the mall. There's nothing. There's nothing available.
Yeah, it was busy when I got here too. So.
And you come at 6 a.m.
Yeah,
and
you're the only one there.
First, like the right Rockstar parking right up front. Myself and Terry Evans. We park right side by side. So
yeah,
a little different for sure. But looking forward to Game 7 tonight, just like everyone else.
What's your expect? Well, first of all, let's give me your thoughts on Game 6.
Well, I thought it was the Oilers' obviously best game of the series. And you know what's funny is that as soon as you have a really, really good game, I went back to 2017. I went back to 2006. The Oilers in those when they played the best of 7 series, they had like
great Game 6s.
Their Game 6 against Carolina in 06 was, Craig McTavish called it almost a perfect game.
Mm-hmm.
In 2017, when they went 6-1, 7-1 against
7-1, yeah.
And then they were not able to win the Game 7. So hopefully things can change in that sense. But yeah, it was their best game of the series by far.
Yeah, they really were good 5-on-5. I thought their power play, even though it didn't score, did generate way more chances. Like Game 5, their power play was atrocious. But
what about the 5-on-3? See, to me that was a concern. 55 seconds of 5-on-3 time didn't generate anything.
Yeah, well, both teams, funny enough, right? They had 56 for the Canucks. Yeah, their power play. Well, right now McDavid just won't shoot. Right. Yeah. Like he had twice, especially the one time he came out of the corner and the Vancouver guys basically just said, okay, here we go. And he still tried to thread it across. Yeah. I know he's got an injury and my understanding is it's a core muscle injury. And I think it impacts his shooting ability. Obviously it's likely why the guy goes from a 64 goal season to a 34 goal season, right? Like if you looked at, I know he aggravated early in the year and then re-aggravated late in the season. I think that's a small impact, but their power play was also 50% up until that point. So they're still finding ways to score, even without him being a heavy volume shooter. And, that'll be key tonight. If you look at how this series has gone, one team's getting a power play in the first 3 minutes of every period of the first period. It's happened in all 6 games so far. And now the Oilers have had 2 of those. Vancouver's had 4. So I look at Edmonton tonight. I think the big key for them was their 5-on-5. Scoring finally showed up. And I think if that does it, if Edmonton plays to their game, I just think they're a better team.
Well, if you were to say what the over-under is for power plays, full 2-minute power plays. Not, there were 2 truncated power plays for the Oilers, right?
Yes.
So would you say
like
5, under 5?
Like 3
2 aside?
2? Yeah.
Two aside.
Yeah,
That's
like
what
if
I'm
you
thinking,
put it at
Frank.
4.5, that would probably be, fair. Like historically, there's not a lot of power plays, but I did go through it the game 7. I love looking up the history of it, and there is a game, I got to find it here, that had like 8 power plays. So it can happen. It's rare, and there hasn't been a boatload of power plays. I think it's 20 to 18 in the series. So it's been pretty close. I'm not one who really concerns himself too much with the officials. Could this not be a penalty? Yes. Could that be a penalty? Sure. And I think for the most part,
And the
it evens out.
Yeah, the players want to see the standard set.
Yes,
and then
that's exactly what it is.
The standard set, and then that standard lived by for the entire game.
Yeah. So for Edmonton, honestly, Edmonton could look at it and say, if we just play our game, the official it shouldn't matter. And because there are going to call the blatant obvious calls. I think they've shown that in the playoffs. I haven't seen anyone where you're like, I can't, other than the McDavid one. That's obviously one they missed. It's funny enough. The one call that was blatantly missed went in favor of the Edmonton Oilers when he didn't get the double minor for cutting Quinn Hughes. So, you know what? To me, officials are like 10th on the list of importance.
They just don't want to decide the game.
No, and they shouldn't.
That's the
right?
main focus for them.
Now, obviously, that doesn't mean you should just let everything go either. So we'll see. But I've talked to so many players, and they're like, man, I'd rather have, the obvious one called and anything else that's close, not called. So many players have told me they're the ones playing it. So if that's what they want, then because I kind of sense that's what's going to happen tonight. I know that we've had lots of texts coming in at 833-401-1440 worrying about Chris Rooney. I'm like, I'll ask this question. Did any of you know the stat before you showed up today? Does it really matter that the Canucks are 11-0-1? I really don't think it has any bearing whatsoever. The game that he reffed earlier in game 3, the Oilers outshot them 45-18. The Oilers had more power plays than the Canucks. The Oilers actually scored 2 power play goals. The difference was they couldn't score 5-on-5 despite shooting. So I don't blame Chris Rooney because he called Darnell Nurse for a cross check. Like, it's one play in a whole game. Like, I'm sorry. That's not why Edmonton lost the game.
Yeah, I don't see the officials being a factor at all tonight.
No, me neither. Are you surprised at Vancouver? Like, hey, Brock Besser comes out, okay, Pettersson. Are you surprised that it's Mikheyev and not Suter on that wing?
No, I think it's a smart move by Rick Tocchet right off the hop to put Pettersson with JT Miller. He needs to get something out of Pettersson, and this is the spark that he needs. Let's be honest. The Lotto line, when it was together for the bulk of the season, was outstanding. So obviously with no Besser tonight, Pettersson is going to be one of the key factors. I would expect him to be, if Vancouver were to win tonight, he will be one of the difference makers, if not the difference maker.
Yeah, well, Pettersson for sure made sense to go there. I'm like the Mikheyev one I'll be interested by. He can skate. The guy is quick. No question about it. And so, and who knows? Hey, he's got 1 in 60 Oilers fans are out there. Yeah, well, that's what happens. Those guys score. We'll see. But
I think they want to have balance too, so it gives them a little more balance.
Yeah.
To have Suter with Höglander and Lafferty.
The thing I look at for the Oilers top line is you've got Mikheyev and Pettersson now. I really believe that you should be able to outmuscle them in board battles and take advantage of that when you can and extend some time. Because if the Oilers play more in the offensive zone, that's what's going to win. And they play quick. Like, I thought Oilers, they have more speed top to bottom than Vancouver. I thought they used their speed more in game 6. And they played, their passing was way better too, obviously. And that allowed them to play quicker.
So one of the key factors I'll be looking at tonight is line matchups. Because now with Vancouver and Rick Tocchet having the last change in the last decision-making process, if you look at what happened in game 6, Chris Knobloch started Ryan McLeod, Warren Foegele, and Derek Ryan against JT Miller's line. And that was, for the most part, I'm not sure exactly the percentage, but for the most part, that was the lineup or the matchup that Chris Knobloch wanted, maybe to get Connor McDavid away from JT Miller. But with Besser out of the lineup, it makes a world of difference to see, or what we will see as far as lineup matches go.
Yeah, well, I know they played there, but I'm pretty sure Miller was -3 in that game against McDavid's line.
Yeah,
right?
They played a lot. They started every period. Every period, the McLeod line started. Yeah. Every period started against JT Miller.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Miller's numbers. He played, like McDavid didn't play very many minutes against him. just 4 minutes, but they outscored them 3-0 in those 4 minutes, right? And then you had Ryan McLeod played 3:33. So definitely a difference. And so you know that Rick Tocchet having last change will be able to do it. And the last change really only benefits you if there's lots of faceoffs, right? Because if you're changing on the fly, and if one team's able to change their guys when they want, you have to wait to respond, right? So it does matter off of faceoffs more. But if you can get a game where there's not a lot of faceoffs, well, then we'll see. But I don't think, like, to me, the Oilers, if I'm them, I'm like, I'll take McDavid and Hyman and Nugent Hopkins.
Against anyone. I don't care.
Yeah, 100%. They should not be scared and say, guys, we'll beat them. And if not, and if you don't score, then we think the Draisaitl line can do their job. Like, that's the matchup actually I'm intrigued tonight, because you got Dakota Joshua is now playing with Lindholm, so they have Kane versus him and Zadorov. Like, that could be a real physical contest.
And we saw, Dylan Holloway has elevated his game to the sense of where he is, without question, a legit top 6 forward now with this team.
Yep.
Undeniable. He scored the prettiest goal of the playoffs so far for the Oilers. That was the nicest goal, beautiful goal to get things going. So he is fitting in just superbly with Leon right now, and you can see some chemistry building because they haven't played a lot together.
No,
all season.
So. No. It's Holloway, that goal just boosts his confidence massively. And he's not afraid to shoot the puck, which is what I like. And I'm telling you, man, Sheloffs doesn't look comfortable to me at all. The Oilers lit him up for 5. We even heard from Wyatt Arndt. We'll have from Kevin Woodley. Woodley was the one before the series said, and Dwayne Roloson just reiterated, you get traffic in front. He doesn't, he's a little bit late on that. And then even on the Bouchard goal, if you watch that goal, a slap shot from the point with no screen, he just doesn't track it quick enough. I think that's the advantage the Oilers have tonight, and they need to take advantage of that.
Perfect shot off the post.
I understand it, but still, that, like, if you watch the Quinn Hughes has a shot through traffic that's going right into the corner, and Skinner's blocker gets it the last second, whereas you don't see Shelovs making that save. And I think, to me, I know Skinner struggled in the first few games of the series. There's no debate on that. A lot of the goals weren't even like shooting from the below the circle. Those should never go in, right? I think those are easily, they can say, okay, because did you see them start in game 6? I think it was Lindholm. He faked a shot and shot it right from there, and Skinner made the save easily, right? He closed up his pads better. And so if he fixes that, I just look and say, the outside of game 5, Vancouver doesn't generate a lot of shots, and I think Edmonton still has an advantage in goal.
How many shots do you think Vancouver gets tonight? Under 25?
Yes.
Okay. You hold Vancouver to under 25 shots, you should win.
100%. Yeah, I agree. Like, there's only been the one game, right? Game 5. And game 5, the Oilers' best players were bad in game 5, and that's why they lost. I'd be stunned if their best players were that bad again.
No, they will be better. There's no question about that.
We'll get your text 833-401-1440. We have a very simple question we're asking you today, and we'll get through it. What's the score? And who has the game-winning goal tonight for either Vancouver or Edmonton? Whoever you're picking, what's the score? Game-winning goal. 833-401-1440. It's Gregor and Carius with Connor Halley here on Sports 1440. Special holiday edition, Game 7, as well as on Oilers Nation YouTube and Facebook.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And I'm Zach Hyman. And when we're not making juicy, sweet passes or having my goals disallowed, we're working for Legacy Heating and Cooling. Guys used to call me a plumber, and now they call you an AC repairman. Nice.
Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the jingle.
Oh.
Well.
Okay. Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year from qualified installers. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Cruise through summer with a sleek new Mitsubishi from Cross Mitsubishi.
Explore the largest 2024 Mitsubishi inventory in Western Canada,
including the dynamic Outlander PHEV and the sporty Eclipse Cross.
At Cross Mitsubishi, you'll get 0% financing on all our 2024 models, including the RVR and Mirage.
Plus, every Mitsubishi comes with a 10-year, 160,000-kilometer powertrain limited warranty.
Visit Cross Mitsubishi today and drive your ambition.
9605 34th Avenue and crossmitsubishi.ca.
Why buy new when used will do? Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock, Northern Alberta's largest auto recycler.
What's new here at Ed's? Well, we now have 4 counter staff. Hi, it's Lisa. And we know your time is valuable, so adding more great people allows us to serve you better and faster. Plus, we continue to add to our inventory on a weekly basis, More parts, more people. See us today or give us a call. And remember, we offer province-wide shipping and daily delivery to Edmonton. Visit edsautosalvage.com.
Vision Credit Union is proud to serve rural Albertan entrepreneurs, business owners like Steve and Haley, who own Blue Jay Storage in Camrose. Their company offers secure self-storage options ranging from closet-sized units to RV parking pads. To make things convenient for customers, Blue Jay's gates are open 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. Way to get down to business, you two. Looking for financial services to help your company get down to business? Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Great memories that last forever can be built around the dinner table, and Sandy View Farms wants to be there for every moment. Sandy View supplies you with quality meat, setting the table for any delicious meal, supporting the community by turning to local farmers for a great supply of beef, bison, pork, and chicken with a continuous supply every week.
No,
They
we're not
have the
expecting
perfect
any.
selection,
The
no
power
matter
play,
the occasion.
as you guys have had an
making each
opportunity
one
to look at it here.
Stop by Sandy View Farms or
Expect
call
you to talk to me about
780-962-0067
is there something that
0067 to
was
place
missing,
an order
or that
today.
you can do a better job of? You think
Hey,
you get a better
it's
result?
Dylan from R&D Hot Tubs. We've teamed with Solaris Canada to carry their full
You know,
line of
missed,
awnings, retractable screen
missed
doors, and
opportunities,
patio
missing-
doors. Need a hand
missed
to install your new
opportunities,
Solaris
missing the
product?
nest.
No problem. R&D Hot Tubs
you
has
know, I think
also
we missed,
teamed with Paquette Construction for
missed opportunities,
installations.
missing the
Need a
net.
concrete pad for your
Just
hot
making
tub,
sure that
a
when we
swim
do have that
spa,
opportunity,
patio, or
they know
other
what we
outdoor
want to do,
structure,
and
Paquette
they
can
know our
do that
setup and
too.
where we
Drop in
store
or
our
call
posts.
us for a free
We're gonna try and take that
consultation.
away, but
R&D Hot
we
Tubs
move the puck around
Camrose.
well to create some chances.
The basketball and hockey seasons are heating up. Baseball is just getting started, and we've got you covered with around-the-clock sports coverage. Tune in for Fox Sports tonight after 9 and all weekend long. Sports 1440 has you covered.
Guardian Drugs Killam is a shopper's delight. Come find friendly advice, outstanding products, and smiling service.
Nosh & Company candy bags, assorted sizes, $2.99 each. And Hawaiian Tropic or Banana Boat sun care products, selected types and sizes priced from $10.99 to $12.99.
You'll find all this and more at Guardian Drugs, East Central Alberta's largest independent drug
Brock
store
Besser
with
will not
friendly,
play tonight.
knowledgeable
Does that change
pharmacists and
anything on your
technicians
side of
staff.
things? Not
Open to
having
serve you
him?
at the south end of Main Street, Killam.
Just that we need
Barbecue lovers, this is the experience you dream
Not,
of.
take a
Smoke,
step back
barbecue, and bar.
things can be
Indulge your
easy.
barbecue
Yeah.
fantasies with fall off the
For
bone
short,
ribs,
13.
tender pulled pork,
Long-term,
smoked
obviously, you
chicken
don't
wings,
like to
and
lose
more.
your players,
Featuring a variety
player
of custom
when
dry
you're
rub
for a long period
flavors.
of time.
The cocktail menu brims with classics and
For
new
our
favorites to discover
strategy,
for stylish corporate events or
we
an
have to
unforgettably
play
tasty night out.
Edmonton
Edmonton's
was
home
one
for
playoff.
barbecue is Smoke Barbecue and
we had
Bar,
our best.
downtown, across from the Ice District. Smokebar.ca.
Not having him.
You know, some things are just yours. That baggy sweater, your favorite book, and Jack's Drive-In, Spruce Grove's iconic restaurant.
Is that message easier to get across when you've seen it happen with Matthews, with Marshawn,
Custom order
and
yours and show your
Boston?
friends and family
And,
how
like,
much you
it's
love
happened
them.
before, as you
If
can
it's not
tell.
from Jack's, you're not loved enough. Jack's Drive-In
that's
is
what the
independent,
message is
local,
these
and
guys are
truly
rallying
Canadian
around
family
Brock
owned and
Besser.
operated. Click jacksdrivein.ca.
We're not going to talk too small.
Goals for
May
coaching staff.
is my birthday month, so Old
So when
Henry
you
has
get to this
decided
point, you play
that
the
anyone can stop by
small
their
details.
Camrose location and buy a
So
new
when you
dining
get to
room
this point, you
table.
play the
They'll
same
even
team
let you
6
buy a
nights a week.
bedroom suite. I know,
Whatever it
heck
is.
of a deal. I do
Is there still
encourage you
a
to
lot of
visit their 50th Street location. It's huge and gives you a really good idea of what you can do in your home. You pick the wood, birch, oak, or pine, and you pick the stain you want. Go check out the custom-made quality furniture at Old Hippie. And please tell them Jackie Ray sent you.
Special Monday edition of the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Orders Nation YouTube and Facebook, also sports1440.ca, as well as on the app. You can watch it on Instagram for Sports 1440, on Twitter, Orders Nation. It's everywhere. I like it. I love it. It's Holiday Monday. I hope you enjoyed the long weekend. I know golfers not happy with the golf, but you probably enjoyed the major as Mr. Schauffele finally got it done with a clutch birdie on the 18th hole to cement his first ever major victory. We'll talk a little bit about that. Of course, NBA. Whew. What about the Denver Nuggets? And whatever the score is tonight, it's never over. We've seen it. Boston was down 4-1 with, 11 minutes left. They came back to beat Toronto. Remember that game? Took them into overtime. What about they were trailing by close to 20 points were the Timberwolves last night against the defending champs. And they came back and won. So now they move on. So it's playoffs, baby. Anything can happen. Game 7. You love it. D-Bird, I'm sure you were doing the one-man luge on the couch watching. What do you make of
I golfed yesterday in that crap.
What?
Yes.
What is your problem?
Stupid, just dumb, whatever you want to call it. Just a tragic error.
Yeah, that is.
It was terrible. But you know what? I did watch I thought that Schauffele putt was not going to go in. When it was going to the hole and it just crept in, and when you really look at the slow motion replay on it, that thing is very close to lipping out, and not only lipping out, but he's probably got a 3-footer, a knee knocker, just to send it to a playoff. So
yeah, no, that was a huge. Beats DeChambeau by 1 and Hovland by 3.
Yeah,
I think it was. Scheffler was close early, but ended up 8 or 9. I think it was 8.
Yeah, I thought the Gala would show better on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't that guy. He never had that surge, that push.
Yeah.
And I thought that this was going to be his chance to shine on the big stage. Never came through. So,
yeah.
But full marks to Schauffele. I mean, when he came out of the gates with a 62 on Thursday, and then stayed steady, I'm sort of, I don't know where you are on the toughness of the course. I don't like a par 5 like that's so easy at the end.
Right.
For them to, they're knocking it on in 2. Guys are eagling. I don't think you should have a par 5 that is a very eagle possibility to win at the end of the championship, especially for a PGA championship.
Yeah, it's probably because now there's only 3 par 5s on that course.
It's a par 71 course.
Yeah.
It's 7,600 yards.
Yeah.
Okay? But in the sense of where you are coming down the stretch, 17's a hard hole. It's like 470 yards.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But 18, to me, you got to have a tougher hole
to end
a major championship.
I can see that. I can see why you want a little bit more drama, but isn't there normally, because there's no set, right? If you want to have, normally you have 4 par 5s to make it a 72, don't you?
That's what it would technically be,
okay.
But I mean, I would say what that course would play, and I don't know what it plays for members. It's probably obviously a par 72, and then one of the par 5s would be, a par 4 shortened, right?
Yeah.
That's different for members as it is for a
there's
major championship.
There's no major that has only 3 par 3s, right? You always have 4 par 3s, 2 on the front, 2 on the back.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, anybody, I don't know the answer to this.
There might be a major out in for the Open in England or
that only
Scotland.
has 3,
possibly over the years. Yeah.
Okay, I'd be curious. Any golf experts on courses? I can't recall one. That doesn't mean there isn't one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of curious, why do they allow? Because I know we've seen some, and I've seen there's even some courses that place the 70.
Yeah. The thing is, the golfers now, they're so good.
Oh yeah.
It's just insane how good
they're good.
These
The
guys
technology is ridiculous too.
When you think about what these guys were playing at this course 20 years ago, they're not shooting 21 under. And now, if you're not shooting 16, 17 under, you're not even in the conversation here.
Yeah, at this, the PGA Championship definitely is the one where they go a little bit lower, so everybody's burning, and maybe that makes it exciting. Yeah. But then you have the ones where guys are winning with -1, or so it's kind of, I kind of like the mix, to be honest. Where sometimes you see in everybody, you're like, you better be able to hit putts and really attack the green. And then there's some times where you're like, God, you just want to hope to keep it in the fairway.
I think the course, because it softened up. They had the rain earlier in the week, so it made a big difference for approach shots, and guys were really going at pins. The greens were holding the balls. So again, though, for me, I don't want to see a 21 under score for a major championship.
Yeah.
10, 12, 13, 14. Yeah. If you're shooting 68, 69 for 4 rounds in a row, you deserve it. But 62, 63, 64. To me, of course, could have been a little tougher.
Okay, that's fair. We got a lot of texts coming in. 833-401-1440 is the text line. I'm going to ask you who you think is going to, what's the score tonight? Not a surprise. Most of you are picking the Edmonton Oilers, which I totally understand. And honestly, look at the betting line at playalberta.ca. The Oilers are, Vancouver is on the money line is plus 235. Like they're a home dog by a fair margin tonight. I think the Brock Besser injury plays another factor in it. Obviously, there's no Demko in the series. And if you look at all the numbers throughout the series, Edmonton has been the better team. However, now it doesn't matter. Now it's like they got to be the better team tonight, and that's what makes Game 7 so great.
Shilovs too. That factors in to what I think odds makers would look at as well. I think the Oilers win tonight. I'd be surprised if they didn't. I'd be shocked if they didn't win tonight, because I think they've been the better team for almost the entirety of the series, save for certain spurts and a couple of periods here and there when you look at the 6 games. So they've been the better team.
Do you have a sense of anyone standing out tonight?
Well, I mean, everyone can say you're going to look for the main characters for both sides. You're going to see a hell of a game by JT Miller. You're going to see Leon and Connor play like it's their last game of the season. And all these guys are going to play like that. I would think that the level of intensity tonight is going to be something that we haven't even seen in this series yet. It's going to be ratcheted up that much more.
Well, you look at Edmonton, and I don't think there's any debate that the Oilers, there's more internal pressure. They feel that they're a team, like this is a team that could compete for the Stanley Cup. And well, Vancouver might believe it. I don't know if in management they're going to be as upset if they lose the game. Whereas in Edmonton, I think there'd be major disappointment if they lose the game tonight.
I think you could look at that and realistically make an argument for that. But Vancouver won the division. I mean, they had a hell of a season.
They did.
And they had a great year in the sense that, no one thought, some people didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. But if you think about how well they've played since Rick Tocchet took over last year, it puts them into that echelon. Like, what do we got 5 teams left. And any one of these 5 teams can win the Stanley Cup. It's that simple. I think, like everyone's saying, well, whoever wins this series, Dallas is going to stomp on them. Don't look at that. I don't believe that for a second.
Well, I'll say this. I don't believe that Vancouver could win 2 more rounds. If they get, I should preface that. If Demko's back, then yes, that's the wild card for them. I do think Edmonton, if I was picking Edmonton or Vancouver over Dallas, I would pick Edmonton. I think they have a chance. Yeah. At Vancouver, I have a hard time with just yet, but we'll see. Tonight's game, it's likely going to be low scoring if you look at the history of Game 7s. I think, low scoring, everyone says, well, it benefits Vancouver, but I don't know, like the games have been tight, all 1-goal games except the last one. And I think Edmonton's 5-on-5 play, that to me is going to boost their confidence a lot that they got to Shilov's 5-on-5, because their power play, like unless they only have 1 or 2 chances, if their power play gets 3 chances tonight, they'll score at least 1 goal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see their power play going 0 for 13 in a row. I just don't see it.
I don't care if you score 5-on-5. I don't care. You know, it doesn't matter at this stage of the game here. You just got to score. And if you score 3 goals tonight, you should win.
Yes. I think. What's your expectations? What did you think of Skinner in Game 6? And then
he wasn't tested. I mean, let's be honest. He wasn't tested really. The goal that was scored on, I mean, that's, it's on McLeod, it's on Nurse for coverage. But other than that, can you really say that there was a great scoring chance by Vancouver in Game 6? Not really.
No, I thought his best save was actually on the Holglander first shot, and then the rebound he scored on, right? But the first shot, I think that might have been his best save.
I'm just using that sequence
Vancouver,
as the goal.
the other thing that I noticed, Vancouver missed the net a lot in that game. A
Yeah,
lot.
fair. And so did the Oilers did too.
Yes.
At the start of the night.
Yes.
I mean, everyone had the loudest shots in the league
Mhm.
to start the game.
Yeah.
Off the glass, off the boards, man. Oh.
Like, I still feel that Edmonton and I know that Skinner, you look at it and he struggled in some of those games, no question. I still think they have the advantage in goal tonight.
I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at the confidence level of Shilov's, what's happened, since what was it 42 saves or 43 saves in
42 saves.
42,
45
so
shots.
Since that game, I think the Oilers have chiseled away at his confidence. And I think that he's starting to think right now. That's going to be a good question for Kevin Woodley, I think.
Yeah.
To see, where do you think his confidence level is right now?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Because you look at him and like, he doesn't have a boatload of confidence. Right? Like Vancouver's whole team, like Game 7, I heard from Dwayne Roloson, like it's a different beast.
Yeah.
And the Oilers have lots of Game 7 experience, even with Corey Perry out of the lineup, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at their stats numbers in Game 7s, it's just they have way more games played. And I think I do think that's an advantage. Doesn't guarantee you success. I think it's because I'm not one, like I always hear, they're so naive. They don't know the pressure. I'm like, what? Everybody's talked about Game 7s their whole life. You just have to show up and play well at the right time. And I look at last night, Minnesota's down 20 points to the defending champs, at home. And they blew the lead.
Yeah.
So I've never been a big believer in the whole naivety reason. Oh, that's why, these guys don't know any better. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
Well, there will be a time tonight. There will be a certain point of the game or points of the game where one team is going to bring it way harder than the other team.
Yep.
And if that team that is under siege, under pressure, under the storm, if they can weather that storm, that's the team that's going to win tonight.
Jason Gregor, Kevin Karras with you. A few more attack. Hey, fellas, I know Henrique's not playing tonight. What's his status? If they win, will he play against Dallas? Well, here's the thing. I'll say this. I don't know, but until I see him skate hard in practice, he's not available. I know that he's been skating, but he hasn't been pushing himself. When they've done the line rushes, he would go to the bench and sit down.
Mm-hmm.
So he's on the ice. It's good, but he hasn't forced himself at all. I really believe they re-aggravated it in that game too.
No question about that.
And, it's an ankle sprain. Those things are difficult at the best of times.
See, if you go back to 2006, Ethan Morrow played almost all of the playoffs with a bum ankle.
Mm-hmm.
And they shot him up every game.
Yeah.
And if you watch the overtime games, any overtime games, he didn't play.
Yeah.
Because the freezing came out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is a manageable thing for Henrique.
No.
If that's possible. Maybe it's a road that they can look at to take that road down.
Because I think they miss him. I think it was a very
if you think about right now,
player.
Look at right now where he would slot in. He would slot in on the third line, and look how much deeper that third line is. Because you're not taking Holloway away from.
Not now.
Not now. So you're leaving the way it is. I don't think that you would take him and put Henrique left side with Connor right now. I think you leave Nugent Hopkins there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
you would
when
put
he
Henrique,
comes back, he comes back on the third. And I'll say this, Kevin, if he came back and he was 100% healthy, I could see that they might even move McLeod down because they need more from him.
Yep.
They need more from him, no question.
He's been the one player. I mean,
like defensively
Perry,
fine, but yeah.
After Perry, since he's been taken under the lineup, McLeod is the one guy that you need to see more from.
Yeah, offensively, his defensive game, I'll give him lots of credit.
Well, but look at the goal that was scored.
Yeah, but that's the first goal he's been on in the whole series.
I get it,
right?
but you need to have awareness. That's
Yeah, no, that's fair, right? Like he's a guy that I think they definitely would like just a little bit more intensity from.
Yes,
I think that's the polite way of saying it. That's what they would like from him. Coming up, Kevin Woodley will join us in the 4:00 hour. We got Sean Brown, Speck, and more. We got lots more of your texts, 833-401-1440. We'll get to some of those, some mentions on Twitter as well. Some questions also on the chat line on Oilers Nation YouTube. We'll get to all that on a special Monday holiday edition pregame show for Game 7. Gregor Carius and Connor Halley with you on Sports 14.
Legacy Heating and Cooling Jingle auditions take one for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah. Well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You can cruise down the Rhine for under $6,000 per cabin, not per person, per cabin. Thought that would get your attention. Network Travel has an incredible, luxurious cruise that'll go down the Rhine aboard the Amos Arena, but it's coming up fast, June 10th to 17th, and they have an exclusive discount, only $59.70 per cabin. Yes, per cabin, not person. You could be rolling down the Rhine in luxury, and there's only a few cabins left on a first-come basis. So visit networktravel.ca right now for details.
Big Club glass coatings for keeping those UV rays at bay.
Keeping heat, fading, and glare away.
For sun control and a whole lot more.
With the quality you've been looking for.
Big Club glass coatings. Sun control.
You may have answered that for me. That would be my question.
For home or office,
Do you say
think
less
of the
to your
bee.
team
When you
tonight
want
than
it
you
done
did
right, it's
after going out onto the ice in February in Philadelphia? Is this a night where you just have to speak to your team very much?
What situation is for
If
me?
you need
And,
keys,
I
you
think
need
less
lock
would
surgeon.
be more,
Lock
but
Surgeon stocks thousands
I
of
haven't gone
keys.
through it. I'm not
Automotive
sure.
chip keys and remotes.
Keys for motorbikes, quads, and
I
boats.
don't think
Keys for toolboxes, file
Me
cabinets,
to
and
tell.
desks.
For keys, master key systems, or lock repair, visit Lock Surgeon's Sales and Service Center at 178th Street and 118th Avenue.
That's 178th Street.
Chris,
and
what are you looking
118th
for in the
Avenue.
first 10 minutes from
Lock
your team
Surgeon,
tonight?
home of the giant padlock.
Hey, Leduc, can leading edge physiotherapy help you? Well, this is a question I face every day. Let me answer the best I can. Do you have a pain or injury to your toe, foot, ankle, knee, hip, lower back, middle back, neck, shoulder, elbow, wrist, hand, or finger? Are you dealing with a sprain, strain, fracture, tendonitis, bursitis, arthritis, dizziness, balance issues, surgery, whiplash, or headache? Okay, I can't
controlling
list all the
motions,
problems that we can help
building
in
our
leading
best
edge
team.
physio in under 30 seconds, and I can't promise we fix everyone. But I can promise that we'll combine our experience, skills, technology, and hands-on care. to
Canucks
give
have
you
had
an
some
edge. Life
pushes
shouldn't
in the
hurt.
third
Find us at
period
Leading
and
Edge.
won some games that way.
Cruise through summer
You guys
with a
really
sleek
think
new
that locked it down in
Mitsubishi
the
from
third
Cross
period.
Mitsubishi.
Explore the
Build on
largest
it. What do you
2024
like about
Mitsubishi
the
inventory
last
in
20
Western Canada.
Including the dynamic Outlander
things
PHEV
a
and
lot
the
like
sporty
playing.
Eclipse Cross.
At Cross
to that
Mitsubishi, you'll
point,
get 0%
talked about the
financing
second
on all our
period of
2024 models, including the
Game 5
RDR
and
and
how maybe
Mirage.
you guys were a
Every
little too
Mitsubishi comes with a
conservative.
10-year,
Just flipping
160,000
pucks out
kilometer
of that.
powertrain.
Where do you draw the
limited
line
Visit
when the
Cross
season's
Mitsubishi
on
today
the
and
line
drive your
between,
ambition.
9605 34th Avenue
foot on
and
the gas pedal,
crossmitsubishi.ca.
you know, it's all or
Basketball and
nothing
hockey
tonight.
seasons are heating up. Baseball is just getting started, and we've got you covered with around-the-clock sports coverage. Tune in for Fox Sports tonight after 9 and all weekend long. Sports 1440 has you covered.
.345 as we inch closer. Puck drop tonight, closer to about 7:20 Edmonton time. And don't worry, Order fans, if they win tonight, get used to some 6:20.
6:20, yeah,
Puck drop
that's
is
fair.
what it'll be. And
I think the Rangers, that's going to be 8 o'clock Eastern. Well, 8:20.
yeah,
by the
8:20,
time,
yeah. So, yeah.
What do you like in that one?
Ooh, that Florida Rangers series, I will go with the Panthers.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You?
I have the Panthers in the dreaded Sports 1440 pool. I've got all Panthers, so I'm going to stick with them. That was my pick at the beginning.
Really?
And what do you? Connor's going. What do you give me a little nudge there, Connor?
No, I was with you. I had a lot of Panthers
Did
as
you?
well, so
Okay.
I'm with you.
Yeah, so I got a lot of Panthers. Having said that, the Rangers have a hell of a team, and I mean, you know what? We had Dan Rosen on the morning show last week, or it was last week, I think. And I asked him about Alexis Lafreniere, and boy, and I said the question was, is this a coming out party for him? Do you think? And he says it's pretty darn close because he has just been, he's taken it to another level.
Yeah, he's been
so
really
far
good
in the playoffs. So Rangers have a great team. This is going to be one of the best goaltending matchups that we've seen between Shesterkin and Bobrovsky that, people can remember in a long time. So I would expect a very close series, but I'm going to just take Florida. I just want to win the draft. That's all.
Oh, well, that's fair. I had Carolina, so
Ooh,
I'm out.
You're out.
Yeah.
He's out.
Yeah.
So my final four, I went all Panthers, all Carolina, all Oilers, and all Dallas.
So you had Carolina too, then?
I did, but I mean, I have I had for the final four.
Oh, okay, but
for
I
the
have
final four.
Well, I have the Panthers, the Stars, and the Oilers too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but you're where are you on the leaderboard here? What's going on?
I don't even know where I'm at. I think I was like, I don't even know. I haven't even looked. I think I'm not in the top 20. That's all I know.
Well, look here.
No. So, where Connor? Are you in second place?
Tied for 5th right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I went Oilers, Stars, Panthers, and I had 3 Hurricanes.
Okay.
So I didn't take too much of an L.
Yeah. You see, I think I took like 6 Hurricanes, so that's why I'm screwed.
Well, what's your team name?
I don't even know. It's not my name. I have to look at it. It's at home.
We got the. I mean, Connor's
honestly,
probably got it pulled
is.
up too here
Connor
as
might
well.
have it. So I don't even know what my team name is. It was like I don't remember.
220. So I'm 23 back of the Slats, who's leading.
Yeah, but if you have the same guys, how do you make up 23
We
points?
don't.
Oh, who does he have?
Who's Slats have, Conman? He's got.
Oh, he's got a lot of Hurricanes. He's in trouble. He had Gensel, Svechnikov, Jarvis.
So he's
done.
So he might be done, is what you're saying.
He'll be probably out of it within the next week, I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's going to be a changing of the guard, Conman.
And if the Oilers don't progress, he's going to drop.
Does
very
everyone
fast.
like? I didn't go through a lot
But
of.
I'm assuming most people have the
Yeah,
Oilers.
as will I.
Yeah.
As will everyone.
Does anybody have Vancouver? Is anybody out there saying, man, Vancouver's going to make a run and then I'm going to go on a roll? I'm going to guess no.
Doesn't look like it.
Slot says he's got about 10 guys that are gone already. He's done.
No. It's a good run, Slats. Basically, at the halfway.
Get back to your hockey
at the
cards.
halfway point, you were leading.
Get back to your hockey cards.
Yeah, that doesn't help you. It's not who's first at the halfway point of the season. Now let's get to the oil report brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton.com. Canada's #1 Volvo dealership is located right here in Edmonton. 13-time Excellence Award winner in sales and service. Volvo Cars Edmonton.com. And the head coach Chris Knobloch just talking about what do they need to do to get their power play going once again.
I think missed opportunities, missing the nets, just making sure that when we do have that opportunity, they know what we want to do and they know our setup and where we score our goals. They're going to try and take that away, but we had to move the puck around well to create some chances. Opportunity, and we make sure we hit the net and we shooting with a purpose.
Yeah, well, sounds pretty simple, but I think in a real sense, that's kind of true, right? Like the Oilers' power play, when it's on, I'm not going to say it's unstoppable, but teams have watched their film for years. They know what they're doing. They still can't stop them. But this is a stretch now. Even in the regular season, I went back and looked. The Oilers had a stretch where they went 0 for 11. So, and then guess what? Then in the next 7, they scored 4 goals.
What I would like to see for a change, just, when you win the face-off, if you win the face-off to start it,
okay,
have a shot on goal in the first 5-7 seconds, because that doesn't happen. They pass it around.
They used to do that.
Yes, but they haven't done it for a long time.
Wow.
So blast one, get Bouchard, give him the puck, and let him blast one in the first 5 to 7 seconds if you win the draw.
Really?
Yep.
But if someone's in front of the net, I'm not just
you got 7 seconds to get to the front of the net.
Yeah.
Blast one, see what happens.
Yeah.
What's the difference? So just put the puck on net right off the hop. Pretend and let's just say there's a save, quick rebound, Vancouver ices the puck.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference if you lose the draw? It's the same thing, the same result. So look at it just because they're not expecting it.
Yeah, man. Okay. All right. Well, I wouldn't change a whole lot because that looks like I'm panicking. I'm just like, guys, we had one bad game. Last game actually generated a lot. They just didn't score. I would kind of stick. I would say, you know what, missing the net, but more so when you have a good shot, opportunity, let it go. How does Brock Besser's absence impact Knobloch, if any?
Just that we need to not let down, not take a step back, and things can be easy. I've seen this many times before where a team is missing a key player and how everyone steps up their game, and everyone just steps up a little bit, and it is a very strong team performance. For short term, it's a very powerful thing for a team. Long term, obviously, you don't like to lose your player, a skilled player, or one of your top players for a long period of time. But for our strategy, we have to play how Edmonton Oilers want to play hockey, and we need to be at our best tonight.
This is Chris Knobloch. At this point of a series, how much strategy goes in, or how much, hey, we know what they do, they know what they do, it's just about execution? How much strategy does he feel is involved in a game 7?
No, these are player games. This is coaches. We've prepared the players. We've talked about what the opposition does, what we need to do. There's very little left for us to intervene, and it's about going out and executing just the small details, winning the puck battles, getting pucks out, all those little things. That's what's important.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know what, you don't want to overcoach at this point. However, I do wonder on the other side of that, Kevin, is if you know there's like, you don't want to overcoach, but at the same time, do you look and say, hey, we know what matchup really works because we've got all the data. This is something I'm going to maybe push for a little bit more tonight.
I think that's just gamesmanship is what he's talking about right now. They've thought through everything. The coaching staff has put down this instance. What happens if this happens?
Yeah.
What's our reaction? Who are we going to go to if this happens? If we are down by a goal, what's our strategy then? If we're up by a goal, what do we do? All of this stuff's been thought through to death, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Is tonight a night where less is more as far as a coach? Now this is his first game, and I think he said it yesterday. This is his first ever game 7 as a coach or a player. So, how does he approach it?
Well, the situation's new for me, and I think less would be more, but I haven't gone through it. I'm not sure if what I'm going to be like in my message, but I think the players know what they need to do, and I don't think there'll be very much for me to tell them.
We always hear about, you want to start well. You want to start well. We had Dwayne Roloson on who thinks, you know what, there might be a feeling out process. What does Knobloch want to see from his team in the first 10 minutes tonight?
Controlling emotions. The energy is going to be very high. There's going to be a lot of thoughts on the players' minds. And it's going to be important that we just simplify our game and get everyone involved. And not looking for that big home run play to start the game. Just everyone contributing just a little bit, chipping away at the Vancouver Canucks and building our best game.
And then last game, you know what? They got a lead. And unlike in other games, Kevin, when they had a lead by a goal or even 2 in game 1, well, I guess technically it was game 3, they weren't able to hold it. But last night they had the lead. They didn't give up, but they kept pressing. I get it's game 7. Is there a challenge of not, really having to enforce pedal to the metal consistently?
I don't think there'll be a challenge with that at all. I mean, it's his comment there about controlled emotion. That says it all. Controlled emotion, controlled aggression, controlled physicality. Don't take a bad penalty. Don't do anything that crosses the line to put your team in a position where they are not going to be happy with what that decision you made. So I just look at it like this is going to be an excellent hockey game. in the sense that you're going to have two teams that are going to leave it all out there. So that's what I think. That's the message that he's sending, and he doesn't have to send it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. So we asked the coach just about, keeping their by how does he find the balance of attacking, but also being responsible defensively?
Yeah, there's a fine line. You don't want to be threading passes through the slot and they get picked off. I think the biggest thing is for you to make those plays. It's not necessarily on the puck carriers, his responsibility. It's more everybody else that are supporting him. One, are they talking to him, helping him, giving him some information on what he should be doing with the puck, and are everyone getting available so he can make that play? And if everyone around him's not supporting him, often his only play is to flip it out of the zone or go off the glass, and it's a safe play, and sometimes that is the play. But it's usually those four other guys on the ice that need to be supporting him.
And I can't wait. I'm looking forward to Game 7 tonight. You get excited, you get nervous. It should be awesome. When we come back, Kevin Woodley will do a breakdown of the goaltending after the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. You can save up to $200 on a select set of 4 tires up until June 8th with a bonus of $50 off any service of $150 or more right now at fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game 7, Oilers Canucks tonight out in Vancouver. Puck drop just after 7 o'clock for the Oilers. The lineup will stay the same as Game 6. No surprise there. Stuart Skinner gets the nod between the pipes for the Canucks. Couple changes here. Vasily Colton will not play in Game 7, while forwards Ilya Mikheyev and Sam Lafferty will draw in. As reported earlier, Brock Besser will miss Game 7. Multiple reports over the weekend that the 27-year-old right winger is dealing with blood clotting, an issue that is not considered life-threatening. Major League Baseball, the Jays in action today. They were victorious, beating up on the White Sox 9-3. Earlier on, you had the Padres over the Braves 6-5 in Game 1 of their doubleheader. Game 2 gets going in about 25 minutes. You also have the Mets and the Guardians, the Brewers in Miami, Nationals host the Twins, Red Sox in Tampa, Yankees battle the Mariners, the Tigers meet the Royals. You've got the Cards up against the Orioles. Angels head to Houston, and the Dodgers taking on the Diamondbacks. And in the CFL today, preseason, 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Rough Riders right now leading the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 15-6. And off the field, the Edmonton Elks making a move, bringing in American quarterback Cole McDonald. He returns to the CFL after spending parts of the 2021 season with the Argonauts. He most recently played in the XFL in 2023 with the Houston Roughnecks. Coming up in Hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Kevin Woodley of In Goal Magazine, as well as former Oiler Sean Brown, plus another edition of 5 Questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
For over 65 years, Dedham Ford has delivered the customer service and value that keeps Albertans moving. And that tradition continues with the all-new 2024 F-150. Lease one today with $1,000 down and pay just $299 bi-weekly, taxes included. That's the value you've come to expect from where cars always cost less. The F-150 $299 driveway lease, only at Dedham Ford in Wetaskiwin or at dedhamford.ca.
You're a smart person, but even smart people make dumb decisions. Not having a will? Dumb. DIY wills? The D stands for dumb. Make a free dumb decision with freedomlaw.ca.
The Verhage Law Team at freedomlaw.ca offer customized legal solutions like wills from just $600 and bundling with things like power of attorney and personal directives to save money. So smart.
Make the smart decision to protect you and your loved ones with freedomlaw.ca.
It's officially spring, but when the snow melts, the grass will grow. Tame your yard with the help from the Lawnmower Hospital. Live on an acreage? Save up to $2,000 and get 0% financing for 36 months on select Toro zero-turn tractors, OAC. For smaller jobs, go for the Toro Super Recycle. With personal pace and electric start, make spring yard care a breeze with Toro and the Lawnmower Hospital. LawnmowerHospital.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
If you're looking for someone who knows real estate and has your best interest in mind, you need Wally Rubleski. Wally's worked in banking, he's managed rental properties, so he's seen the real estate market from every angle and can help find the best fit for you in this market. His number one focus is making sure you have a full understanding of what the best situation is for you. Call or text Wally Rubleski at Central Agencies Realty in Camrose today, 780-781-7323.
This is Wally, and together we'll make it happen.
Barbecue lovers, this is the experience you dream of. Smoke, barbecue, and bar. Indulge your barbecue fantasies with fall-off-the-bone ribs, tender pulled pork, smoked chicken wings, and more. Featuring a variety of custom dry rub flavors. The cocktail menu brims with classics and new favorites to discover. For stylish corporate events or an unforgettably tasty night out, Edmonton's home for barbecue is Smoke Barbecue and Bar, downtown across from the Ice District. Smokebar.ca.
What's new this spring at R&D Hot Tubs Camrose? It's a long list, so let's get started. In addition to featuring the best in Canadian-made hot tubs and swim spas from Hydropool, R&D now offers concrete services. We pour concrete pads for hot tubs, swim spas, or back patios. We also build decks and other backyard structures. Call for your free consultation or stop in. And more great news, we've extended our hours on Thursdays, 9 a.m. till 7 p.m. Join me, Celine, and Rupert here at R&D Hot Tubs Camrose. rdhottubs.ca.
Cruise through summer with a sleek new Mitsubishi from Cross Mitsubishi.
Explore the largest 2024 Mitsubishi inventory in Western Canada,
including the dynamic Outlander PHEV and the sporty Eclipse Cross.
At Cross Mitsubishi, you'll get 0% financing on all our 2024 models, including the RVR and Mirage.
Plus, every Mitsubishi comes with a 10-year, 160,000-kilometer powertrain limited warranty.
Visit Cross Mitsubishi today and drive your ambition.
9605 34th Avenue and crossmitsubishi.ca.
It's officially spring. Whether you're a seasoned landscaper or starting a new lawn care company, the Lawnmower Hospital can help with everything you'll need, from aerators and power rakes to walk lawnmowers, lawn edgers, and zero-turn tractors. Financing is available. Make spring yard care a breeze with the Lawnmower Hospital. LawnmowerHosp.com.
We're more than mowers, the Lawnmower Hospital.
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, in your can all over the place, singing, we will rock you. We will rock you. Buddy, you're a young man, hot man, shouting in the street, gonna take on the world someday. Got blood on your face, a big disgrace, waving your banner all over the place. We will rock you. Sing it now. We will rock you. Buddy, you're an old man, poor man, pleading with your eyes, gonna make you some peace someday. You got mud on your face.
Just after 4 o'clock. How are you? Jason Gregor, Kevin Karras, Connor Halley on a Victoria Monday special holiday.
It doesn't feel like it at all.
No. It's a special holiday edition here on Sports 1440. Why? Because it's Game 7, baby. And Game 7, no rest. Got to have an extended pregame show. Low Tide was on at noon. We will go until 6 and allow us time to get home. Everybody want to watch the game and see what happens in a pivotal Game 7 for the Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks. The Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code if you're thinking about it. First time, use the promo code Gregor50. It's Gregor50, and you'll get a free $50 wager. Whether you're a first-timer or multiple user, use the promo code with a $5 minimum deposit. PlayAlberta.ca. Pretty good. Don't waste it. Oilers are the favorite tonight, in case you're wondering. Now, let's Echo in the Room, brought to you by Next Gen Transportation, a heavy haul transport provider, 100% locally owned and operated, and a proud sponsor of numerous youth sports teams. It's nextgentransportation.com. As we welcome to the show from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com, our goalie guru, Kevin Woodley, joins us, of course, covering this series in person, so he's seen it up close. We've seen 3 different goalies in the series. We'll see Skinner and Shelovs for the 5th time head-to-head in the 7 games so far, Kevin. And I guess give me your thoughts on what you saw from Skinner in Game 6.
I was just going to say, Jason, will we see Artur Shelovs tonight? Could there be a Thatcher Demko appearance?
Stop, buddy.
Okay. I got to be honest, though. Watching him this morning, he's ready to play. From a physical standpoint, he went through every possible pace you could go through as a goaltender.
Okay.
Reverse track skate on both posts, in and out of the posts. They were working dynamic movement, deflection, screens, rebounds. The car doors were wide open. There was nothing in terms of limiting him. My understanding is the only thing holding him back from playing is he hasn't been able to get up to game speed and game pace. Like, we are that close, which has just got to be agonizing for him to feel like the body is there and just hasn't had a chance to get reps. Don't expect to see him, but I was shocked by what I saw today, by the dynamic nature of the paces they were putting him through, by how game-like some of it was, and by the positions he was getting into and out of. Can't tell you what it felt like after. Obviously, we haven't talked to him. Can't tell you if he feels good physically or if he's just gutting through it. But my eyebrows were raised by what we saw this morning. That said, Rick Tocchet has been a man of his word throughout, and he said it's Artur Shelovs tonight, and I have no reason to believe it's not. But there was enough there that you were just like, the eyebrow went up, if nothing else.
Now, you mentioned game pace. So what would it just take a few days of hard practice to get up to that pace?
Yeah, and that's typically what Tocchet likes out of his goaltenders before putting them back in. That's what we saw out of Thatcher Demko. Now, don't forget, like with Black Aces and the number they have up here, you could theoretically have run him through that type of stuff without prying eyes even yesterday. But I don't have any indication they did. Like, again, like everything they did today, screens, live fire, open play out rebounds, taking all the control elements that you typically like coming back in the early stages of an injury out. So it's totally dynamic. Adding traffic, guys bumping them as they went to the net on some of the screens. Like, all those things are game-like. The only difference is it's still drills. It's still just, 5 guys rotating through the zone as opposed to 10 bodies flying around the zone in more of a scrimmage, like, when they go half ice in practice. And that's what's missing. That's what, he hasn't had an opportunity to have. And until you're trying to find that tiny little black puck through 10 bodies, half of which are trying to take your eyes away, you haven't done it. And it's really hard to sort of mimic that or feel like you're comfortable with game speed until you get some of those reps. And as I understand it, that's still missing. But man, it was, like I said, I got video from Saturday in Edmonton, Game 6, morning skate, and I still saw not hitches in the movement, but still favoring one side, narrowing the butterfly to the left as he pushed off or moved in that direction. I thought, there's no way. I watched him this morning, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot closer than I thought. So perhaps some type of breakthrough in the past couple of days. Again, don't expect him tonight, but boy, I was thinking about it. That's for sure.
Hey, Kev, after Game 3, when Shelovs made 42 saves, would you say his confidence was at an all-time high at that point? And do you think that the Oilers have been able to chisel and chip away at that confidence in the last few games?
I mean, maybe. I guess, anytime you hang a crooked number on a guy, it's going to do things to his confidence. I don't really worry about him confidence-wise. I think, if anything, they've started to find some elements where they're attacking a little differently. You're seeing them start to look for outside. And we talked about this, I think last week, Jason, right? Like, his strengths are down low and tight. So if you're trying to create, and that's a lot of what the Oilers create, right? Like the dynamic cross-ice passes to Leon Draisaitl at the bottom of the circle on the power play, wide open looks there. And they've scored a few on that. But those types of plays sort of feed into the strength of his game, and you can build confidence by allowing him to make saves in those situations. Where he struggled both anecdotally in the American Hockey League and up here and statistically as well is traffic and screens and shots from distance. And what have we seen out of Evan Bouchard? Shots from distance, pucks that I think a lot of people might expect their goaltender to stop, including the winner down there in Edmonton in Game 4 after the late comeback. And then, one of the goals there the other night in game 6. So I don't expect them to completely change their game plan, but when those looks are there, they seem a little more likely to take them. And to me, that's, I don't even so much as Shelov's confidence, leaking, as the Oilers recognizing some things they can maybe try and target that might be outside the norm of how they would try and score goals.
Kevin Woodley joins us. Meanwhile, Skinner comes in, didn't get tested a whole bunch in that game. I think that's probably the ideal thing for him. He gets back in, leaves that game feeling pretty confident. He had the one goal. No one's going to blame him on that goal. He made the first save right on the doorstep. The 2 orders around Hoaglander, and he buries the rebound. You look at Skinner, and I know you've talked about it before, off of the rush, side to side, that's where he struggles. But Vancouver doesn't really attack that way, Kevin. Do you think that the line changes, we might see them try to attack more that way tonight?
They just haven't been a rush team all season, Jason. And we talked about this going into the series, right? Like, this should have been a good series for Stuart Skinner because he shouldn't face that much off the rush. Even look at what they created in game 1, like the Garland goal, like the element that gets lost there. It's his rush chance. So he's got to skate. He's got to retreat. There's movement involved. And he didn't necessarily manage it all that well. There wasn't in game 6. I think a lot of that is credit to the Oilers. Another thing you and I have discussed, worst team in the NHL, high danger chances off the rush before the coaching change. Second in the NHL since the coaching change. So that's a big switch. The series itself favors him not having to face those chances. I don't think you're going to see the Canucks try and change who they are.
Okay.
In game 7, I don't think they can, right? Like, their identity is defense, and they haven't necessarily been a fast counterattack team. I think also the Oilers are doing a good job of not feeding into counterattack opportunities and giving the Canucks those types of looks. So, the one thing that they will continue to try and do is, the Canucks are a great team with screens, with sort of layered screens. And I thought, as much as he didn't see a lot of shots, that one on Hughes in particular, and Hockey Night had a great replay. Man, that thing's labeled. And that's a layered screen. And that's a shot that goes in if you hit that spot in the net, over 40% in the NHL this year. So that's a hell of a save by Stuart Skinner. That's him playing to his strengths. And as long as the Oilers prevent the Canucks from attacking the relative weaknesses, and it's always relative, it's not me criticizing the goaltender. Every goalie has things they're good at and things they're less good at. As long as the Canucks can keep them away from those relative weaknesses. And the one spot where we saw them expose, and I think Kelly sort of did a good job, Rudy, on Hockey Night, the power play. When they got a couple of seam passes through, he was swimming a little bit. He was outside of the crease. He got caught moving one direction. The puck was already headed in the other direction. Credit to the Oilers. There was no lane for the guy that received the puck at the other end to get a shot off, and that's got to continue, because if they can get him going side to side, it's how you go score goals on any goalie. Yeah. But that's a relative, that lack of lateral mobility is something that teams are going to target, not just now, but if there is a next series for the Edmonton Oilers, Dallas will go after it too. It's not like it's a secret at this point.
Yeah.
Did you see Kevin game 6, Stu playing the puck a little quicker than he had been? And do you think that was a concerted decision to maybe move the puck and get on it quicker and get rid of it quicker?
You know what? That's a really good point, Kevin. I hadn't thought of it at the time. Certainly, as well as Vancouver forechecks, and as much as a big part of what they did to Edmonton in game 5 was the forecheck and getting it set up from the second period on. Whether that's to get Stuart comfortable, because touches, that's the other thing. If you're not getting a lot of shots, how do you stay involved in a game mentally? You get puck touches by handling it. Pekka Rinne did that all the time. So that would help with that. But certainly if he can get out there earlier, get a stop, and get them in transition, it makes it harder for the Canucks to establish a forecheck that was very effective in game 5. So that would make a lot of sense.
Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine, NHL.com. Now, Kev, we saw Garland score from the below the circle. We saw Zadorov score from sharp angle, higher shot. Then I don't know if you noticed that Lindholm tried the exact same shot early in that game on Skinner, and Skinner stopped it. So clearly, what have you seen from Skinner when they're coming from that sharp angle that he's not doing that? And they're very two different goals, from Garland beating him on the ice and Zadorov beating him up high, and then Lindholm going there again. What is it that he needs to do to play those shots differently?
Well, I mean, the way he did it, I guess be patient, not commit early to a reverse VH. He's a big enough body that he actually shouldn't get beat, even if, not to, like Henrik Lundqvist has been railing against the reverse VH throughout these playoffs and doing such a good job of breaking it down. The reality is Stuart Skinner shouldn't get beat in reverse, because he's big enough to get that shoulder up to the post. I think his entries have to be a little more inside out, come from the inside of the goal line out, so that you're not coming downhill into the post. And then it's a big lean, because those long legs and that big body you have to lean further over top of that lead leg to get to the post. And inherently that makes it harder to lift up. If you come inside out and push up into the post, you have all that coverage. So if he's going to use it, I guess there's two ways. You either don't use reverse as much and just try and be more patient, especially if it's on the wall like Zadorov's was. Or if you're going to be in a reverse, you got to make sure you take that back leg, your pivot leg, and rudder it further closer to the goal line, like 30-degree angle from the goal line, so you have better access to that top corner. As soon as you come in steep, and so your back leg is almost squared up on it, that's when you're exposed short side high. And I know it's really easy to criticize the reverse technique, but it's often a poor application of it that leads to the gap, especially for a guy as big as Skinner. If he flattens out that backside edge and gets in there early, those dead angle pucks should not go in on Stuart Skinner.
Hey, Kev, can you circle back to Thatcher Demko and his workout? How long was it? And you explained a lot of the drills, but can you just kind of circle back and let our listeners know exactly what went down this morning?
Well, the length of it, actually, Kevin, was something that would have me thinking he's not coming back. And I don't think he's coming back tonight. My information is he's not coming back tonight. I guess I got maybe a little excited, but I was like, wow, I was surprised. The length was quite, like, he was out there a long time. And he was gassed. And at points, he took long breaks on the bench during the session. So you're probably not going to wear your guy out to that extent if you have any hope of getting him through a game 7. So again,
he's not even dressing as the backup, though.
I wouldn't think so. But in the moment, in the crease movement, in the patterns, in the dynamic nature of the drills, again, there was nothing there that I saw that was like, oh man, they're holding this guy back. He still got a couple of progressions left to go before he's comfortable playing the position, doing all the things he has to do as a goalie to play a game. The only thing missing was sort of that live action and that play pace. In terms of all the positions you have to get into as a goaltender. And again, I can't tell you how uncomfortable he was. I can't tell you whether he had pain afterwards because of those positions, but he was in all of them, including, like I said, the reverse track or double seal is a position a lot of goalies in the NHL can't even get into. I'm not sure Stu can. One skate on each post, both pads flat along the ice in a butterfly, completely sealing the ice, torso up, legs up, upright over top of it. I think Dustin Schwartz would call it a double seal in Edmonton. They call it a reverse track here. It's an incredibly demanding position to get into.
Yeah,
on the
sounds
knees,
like it.
on the hips. It's actually the position we believe he was in that led to the injury originally of the left knee against the Winnipeg Jets, because he had to react out of it and he got caught making an awkward movement. Seeing him in that position, working in and out of it in a dynamic manner today, to me, that's the last box being checked in terms of the limitations being lifted on what he can and can't do in the crease.
Kev, great stuff in this series. One last one I want to get to in the Eastern Conference, because we have Shesterkin versus Bobrovsky. And Shesterkin's playoffs, I'd be like, here's a guy who didn't necessarily have his best in the regular season at times. He came on in the second half of the season, but man, in the postseason, he's been dynamic. If you're the Panthers, how are you attacking Shesterkin? It's part A of the question. Then B, if you're the Rangers, how are you attacking Bobrovsky?
Well, first off, I just go to my NHL.com preview of that series from a goaltending perspective. Just went up this morning. It has basically a goal chart on where every puck has gone in, the last 100 goals of the regular season on both guys, and every goal in the playoffs. And then
Nice.
some of those patterns and trends. I was up to about 1 a.m. last night finishing it. So that's why I'm talking so fast. I've had a lot of Red Bull this morning.
Nice.
So there's a lot in there. Listen, like the one thing too is like make it a long series, make him work in terms of Shesterkin. It's interesting when he gets tired physically, he starts to lower and widen out in his stance, and that's when he gets exposed high. But he's had some rest, so I expect him to be fresh. You have to make him move. Low high plays, he's an incredible skater, right? So how do you keep him from getting to his positions in the crease? You start from behind the net. Low high plays, stuff from below the goal line was a higher than normal factor in a lot of the goals on him. The other thing is we talked about not wasting shots. This is what I hate. Stuart Skinner comes into the game the other night. Oh, just get shots on him. Just get shots. Don't feed a goalie that hasn't played a bunch of 99%ers that he stops all the time, right? Like Shesterkin does not let in bad goals. He does not give out bad rebounds. So you have to try and create dynamic offense. Every goal that's been scored on him in the playoffs has multiple aspects: screens, tips, deflections, slot line passes. Usually one's not enough on this guy. So you have to create layers of traffic. You have to create passes off of layers of traffic. It is not easy. And then you have to make him work in the hope that you wear him out and get him playing a little lower, wider, and deeper in his stance as the playoffs go on.
Kev, great rundown, man. What's your prediction tonight, Edmonton and Vancouver, for Game 7?
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea what happens tonight. Everything from Game 6 would point to the Oilers found their A game. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's a little, I want to give the Canucks credit. I do think it's a little bit of an indictment at times that they didn't get to it sooner. And that they
I totally Edmonton actually should, like, they blew a lead in Game 1, and then Game 3 they should have won. Like I think Edmonton's been, for the outside of Game 5 where Vancouver was the best team, Edmonton's been the better team most nights.
Yeah, and I think that when you're at this point in your progression as a cup or bust team, that those lessons shouldn't be learned. That you shouldn't need to still learn them in the second round at this point. I think there were some wasted opportunities to maybe end this series earlier if you're Edmonton and get more of the rest that everyone else is craving right now. So I look at Game 6 and, like, we could have a repeat of that. Absolutely. And yet typically in Game 7s, things end up being grindy and low scoring. And so if there's any sign of nerves, and this does end up being the last time the Canucks had a clinching game against Nashville was a 1-0 game. That's going to be the identity they try and play to tonight. Doing that against the Oilers seems far, like, can you control McDavid and Draisaitl for again in this series? It seems a stretch, and yet it's Game 7. Anything can happen. So I'll stay away from predictions. As a deadline writer, I'm just kind of hoping for no overtime.
Well, the last 3 Game 7s in the NHL have been 2-1. The 2 this year were 2-1. Last year, Dallas, Seattle in the second round was 2-1. The Devils 4-0 over the last time you had an over. You have to go back to the last year when Florida upset Boston in round 1. It was 4-3. So usually it's low scoring. There was that Rangers, they spanked Carolina 6-2 the one game. The Rangers game seemed to have a few more goals. So it would be nice because trust me, I'm not a fan of low scoring. But we'll see what happens. I think if it gets high scoring, it favors Edmonton. If it's
I was just going to say, if it gets high scoring without Brock Besser, I don't know where 4 goals come from for the Vancouver Canucks.
No, that's fair. Kev, enjoy it, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Really enjoyed this, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
There you go. That's Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com. It's in the room, brought to you by Next Gen Transportation.
He's really got it. I mean, if you're going to get into some detail here, I mean, if you're only going to do 100 goals, start 100. Like, come on, what are we doing here? Like, come on.
Yeah, no, Woodley's great, man. Like, trust me, we've learned so much over him in the years on the show. It's all. And the thing I like about him is he explains it in a way that non-goalies can understand what he's talking about.
So what I asked him is, can you get into, like, let our listeners know? And he's got all, like, I mean, so he says Dustin Schwartz calls it this, it's called this out here,
Yeah.
So
no, he makes it, because trust me, we've had so many of our audience, because they'd be this goalie tear, and then he explains it like, oh, okay, well, yeah, maybe that's right, and it wasn't a terrible goal. When we come back, Sean Brown, who, by the way, probably should get fined for giving himself his own nickname, which we'll never use again once we found out it was self-proclaimed Brown Sugar. Don't ever call him that again, right?
It's awful.
Nah, that's terrible. So we have a few better names for him coming up next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey campers, Brent Fullerton from Carefree RV. It's our favorite time of year, and camping season is about to start. We're booking our annual spring service special, which includes a dewinterization and an RV checkup. Let us get you ready for camping the Carefree way. Call or text us at 780-438-2008 or visit us at carefreerv.ca.
For over 65 years, Dedham Ford has delivered the customer service and value that keeps Albertans moving. And that tradition continues with the all-new 2024 F-150. Lease one today with $1,000 down and pay just $299 bi-weekly, taxes included. That's the value you've come to expect from where cars always cost less. The F-150 $299 driveway lease, only at Dedham Ford in Wetaskiwin or at DedhamFord.ca.
A few years ago, I was doing okay, but the rising cost of living has made my credit card bills go through the roof, and I don't know how to handle it anymore.
Times are tough. The cost of living is causing many to fall into debt through no fault of their own. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and stressed. There are options that can help you get back on your feet. My name is Parveen Middleton, and I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I can help you find a solution to become debt-free. Visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
Been there? Scrap that. Metal Neck Salvage.
With public scrapyard locations in Camrose and Drayton Valley, they'll even come to you. Metal Necks has the trailers and equipment to haul anything away, and not just the good stuff. They'll take it all and pay you more. Their crew also tackles farm, oil field, and industrial site cleanups. Book now for spring. Plus, demolition and roll-off bin services. Details at metalnecks.ca and on Facebook.
Taking care of their customers one piece at a time. Metal Neck Salvage.
You know, some things are just yours. That baggy sweater, your favorite book, and Jack's Drive-In, Spruce Grove's iconic restaurant.
Hi, this is Mandy from Jack's Drive-In. Ice cream cakes and cupcakes are made with love at Jack's. Custom order yours and show your friends and family how much you love them. If it's not from Jack's, you're not loved enough. Jack's Drive-In is independent, local, and truly Canadian family owned and operated. Click jacksdrivein.ca.
Jack's Drive-In, Spruce Grove.
It's officially spring. Whether you're a seasoned landscaper or starting a new lawn care company, the Lawnmower Hospital can help with everything you'll need, from aerators and power rakes to walk lawnmowers, lawn edgers, and zero-turn tractors. Financing is available. Make spring yard care a breeze with the Lawnmower Hospital. LawnmowerHosp.com.
We're more than mowers, the Lawnmower Hospital.
This is Jonas Knox from Fox Sports before Kevin carry us each morning. Check out our show, Two Pros and a Cup of Joe. It's Brady Quinn, LeVar Arrington, and me right here on Sports 1440.
I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. If I have to plead for your sympathy.
For 428. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Kevin Carius, Connor Halley with you on a special holiday edition of the Gregor Show. Con, what are you doing over there? My mic's cutting in and out. What's happening?
Well, it's a holiday. That's why.
Better now?
It's better now.
Okay. There we go. We are getting set for Game 7. Oilers and the Canucks. 7:20. If you're making your way home, don't worry. You got a lot of time. The mall's packed. I'll tell you that. Mall is
can't
jammed.
believe it.
I know where half our listeners are. They're right here. By the way, there was a nice little piano recital going on.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just below us. Some very talented young pianists were tickling the ivories. They were getting themselves set up for, and wisely doing it. So they're here. There's a big crowd, and now they'll leave, and they'll go watch the game.
I can't believe how packed it is here. I mean, I understand. I know how busy the mall is, but
well, you never see it busy in the morning.
No.
But honestly, normally on a Monday afternoon, normally it's that outside there's not many cars.
Right. Yeah.
But it's holiday Monday and it is packed.
I think people go to the theater. They're watching an afternoon movie, I'm betting.
I went and saw If with my son
really?
and his buddy yesterday. Yeah.
That's
not bad.
Is that Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds is in it. Yeah. You know what? I would say it was pretty good. Like I enjoyed it. It was like, I didn't really know what it's about. It's about imaginary friend. And so I think it's something some people can relate to at different times in their life. Right.
Wow.
And for their kids. And so I like my son and his buddy went. And so the first 25 minutes for two boys who are 10, probably a little bit slow. But then when it got into the parts that mattered, they were paying attention. So that's good. But
man, I can't remember the last movie I went to. Maybe The Lion King, I think.
Oh, buddy,
Duke, what do you think?
I like going.
I couldn't believe what the animals were talking, like the real animals.
Yeah,
it's shocking.
It's crazy. It's amazing. That's the technology they have now. Did you even God, when you went to a theater, did they even have a roof on it, your first one?
They had a theater in Melville, Saskatchewan, and the best part of it all, it was called the Paragon Theater, and they had love seats.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they had
We had those in Leduc, too. I remember it was unbelievable.
So I remember grade 7 and 8 when you would, you're just starting to, doing the dating scene. That was the big thing. You tried to make sure you took your girl to the, and to the theater, and you got into that love seat.
Yeah, you had to get early because there
Well,
wasn't many. There was
no,
only like one or
that's right.
two. Yeah, you had to get there early for sure.
Massive.
So, yeah.
And it was red crushed velvet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Let's get to our playoff report brought to you by Action Game Show. Electrical taking savings or taking action on your savings. Hey, that's who you call. Right now, you can get a 10-year interest-free loan. That's pretty important. If you're looking to get solar installed, go to actionelectrical.net. Our next guest, probably still a little bit nervous. He was walking up the stairs in the press box, and I came beside him, and I literally gave him like a little elbow nudge, man. It was like it was pitch black in the dark, and I had scared him. Holy cow, he almost jumped off the ledge. Sean Brown joins us. Brownie, are you doing all right? How's your heart rate now? You looked a little nervous there.
Yeah, of course, always from behind.
No, that was just fine.
I waited. Hey, it was from behind. I waited purposely to just let everyone go, just to take my time, and next thing you know, I'm almost getting bumped over as I'm looking and thinking, wow, this is really, really high.
Yeah, Brownie's scared of heights, I found out after.
So what a special day. You got the two alpha males in the office today. That's who's sitting in the big chair.
I was just telling Griggs about
figure it out, Brownie.
Yeah. He was here first. I was just telling Griggs about the time when you went on Global in the morning there, and Wendy was in the bathroom. She was scared to come out because the background of your interview on Zoom showed just an absolute mess in that room.
We had no kids that weekend. I had to live that the whole day. She was so upset with me. Honestly, I thought, wow, I got this all set up. I got the mountains in the back, and then the lady's like, "Hey, we can't see it from the glare of the sun or the light," and I had to switch it up. And I had never seen my wife move so fast into the bathroom. But yeah, the amount of text that I got, I mean, especially from you and guys, hey, Brownie, make your bed. Oh my God, that was
towels and bathrobes hanging off those like the bed posts.
Well, the worst was his cheetah thong that he had on the pillowcase. Like, God, Brownie, put it away. That was terrible.
Hey, Gregor, I gotta thank you today. I was at my daughter had a she's got her finals in her volleyball.
Okay.
And so I'm at the Expo Center and I'm walking around and I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at my phone and this guy's like comes up and he just starts smelling me. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I just got to smell your sweater. And I'm like, oh my God. He's like, I heard you on the radio.
About the Aria smell. Because Brownie said he loves the smell of the Aria. That's why he stays there. And he says his
my God.
hoodie
like,
smells like it.
Correct.
That's actually pretty funny. Hey, our listeners got a good sense of humor. Wow. That's awesome. Brownie, give me your thoughts on the Oilers 5-on-5 play in Game 6. Well, obviously, they scored more goals, but what did you see? What did you like from their 5-on-5 play?
Well, I mean, I thought I talked to you a little bit about it when I was at the game there. I mean, early, I think they definitely made some adjustments and got better at it. But I thought 5-on-5, I thought, I think the key tonight is for the Oilers to come out of their zone probably a little bit cleaner. I think at times Vancouver's forecheck there gives them a little bit of trouble, especially under pressure. So that's something tonight that I look forward to seeing how the adjustments and how quickly they can get on that. I mean, obviously, if you spend, as little time as you can in your zone, you're going to give yourself a better chance. But, especially, McDavid and Draisaitl and some of their skilled players, you don't want them burning the candle at both ends. The quicker you get out and, their strength is offense and they're hard to handle, especially if you can get it to them clean and they can get speed through the neutral zone. They're a hard group to handle, but, and then 5-on-5 in their zone, I look to see, I mean, they always seem to me have a lot of success when they get the puck in the zone and then they're able to go low to high. And I really like, because everyone does such a good job, checking in their zone. They got a couple big defensemen there, good sticks, good range. But when they get the pucks from low to high and they spread them out, and especially when they get their high forward gun up there and kind of creating some offense up by the blue line, I think they're very hard to handle. And there's, to me, no one better in the league that, when they do that, it just, with their skill, it makes it tough.
Hey, Brownie, Brett Kulak, very little fanfare, but man, he's playing some great hockey right now. What have you liked about his game on the back end?
Yeah, just the simplicity. I mean, he's underrated. I mean, all year he's not one of the guys that, we talk a ton about, but he's just been steady Eddie back there. And, that's what you need going into the playoffs, is just that steady, reliable guy that just seems to be getting it done. He just flies under the radar. Doesn't seem like a guy that he just doesn't need a whole lot of attention, a whole lot of love. He's looks like a very low maintenance kind of guy, and he's playing, he's playing at the top of his game, and he's giving, the Oilers the minutes and the confidence, that they need. And the playoffs are a time where usually there's guys that kind of come out of nowhere. And I would put him in that category of a guy that, is I don't want to say coming out of nowhere, but is playing, a lot better, and having a big impact. And that's what, the Oilers and every team needs if they want to make a good playoff push. So yeah, very exciting.
Sean Brown joins us. Of course, terrible news for Brock Besser, terrible time. And he's got the blood clots in his leg. Now, it doesn't sound like it's overly serious as far as long-term health, but he's done for the playoffs, whether they win or lose tonight. He's not going to return if they make it to the next round. And so that means JT Miller, now, instead of having Puis Suter and Brock Besser on his line, is going to have Elias Pettersson and Ilya Mikheyev. And we know that on home ice, they like to have Miller out there against McDavid's line. How do you see that line changing? Obviously they've been waiting on Pettersson to get going. Mikheyev has 1 goal in 60 games. Is this a clear advantage in your eyes for the Oilers, and how do they make sure they take advantage of that?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it as an advantage for sure. Anyone that, anytime you're losing a big impactful player like Brock Besser, that's, it's the only advantage for the Oilers. But I think that, there's also, when a guy goes down, there's, as a coaching staff, they're probably using it as a rallying point too, where it's like, hey, one of our big guys is down. We need next guy up mentality. And, we got to do this for him and all that rah stuff. So there's the danger, in that. But having said that, I mean, that's, the first period, the first little bit in this game, especially playing on the road, I'm sure it's going to be electric in that building, and a lot of emotion, a lot of excitement. I think the key for the Oilers, is to get in their zone early, and then especially against a line like that, make them play defense. I think that's going to be important. I think, that's probably going to be the message, from the Oilers and their coaching staff is, hey, one of their big guys is down. Let's get on them early. Get some disbelief in their system. And then, the opposite would be for Vancouver, where it's like, hey, let's use this as a rallying point. So, but all that kind of goes out the window, to be honest with you, in a game 7, because it's probably going to be someone that's going to step up, like a Kulak or, a Holiday, someone, the stars I think are going to be who they are, but it's going to be someone like that I think is going to kind of step up and be a surprise in this game 7.
Hey, Brownie, Vancouver's forecheck is going to be coming hard tonight. How would you grade the Oilers defensemen in puck retrieval and making that first pass, that option, that outlet to get it out of their own zone quickly? How would you grade that so far in this series?
I think at times it's good, and I think at times it struggles a little bit. I mean, it's when it's good and they find some rhythm, and they they're getting back to pucks, and the forwards are coming back, and they have that close support, and they're making those little 4-foot, 5-foot passes, and supporting the puck well. They come out nice and clean, and it looks good. I think there's times that Vancouver has done a really good job of placing pucks in the areas and getting in on the forecheck, and they have such good sticks, right? I mean, it's amazing. We sit up there and it's, you watch, and that's the beautiful thing about the NHL is like these guys have the skill set and the ability to make bad passes look good, right? It's just, and their ability to make those 3-foot, 4-foot passes with guys in between them and for guys to actually handle it is just, it's mind blowing, because not only are they able to do it at those speeds, but like we're watching at such a distance, and we all know what it's like to sit up close and how hard that must be. But that's going to be the key for the Oilers early is the simplicity, right? I mean, just your first option, I think, is going to have to be your, early is going to be the right option. And then when you do that early, I think it lets other teams know and you establish it, and then then it makes it harder for them to get their forecheck going. It makes it harder for them to get their hits. But, if you're holding on to it and you're not getting out clean and you're giving them some confidence and momentum to continue with it, it can tend to be a long evening.
John Brown joins us here on Sports 1440. Brownie, the power play last game at least, got some chances. They didn't finish. It was much better than the game before. But I was going through the regular season, like for the Oilers to go 0-10, it just doesn't happen. Now, it did happen once. They went 0-11, then they went 4 their next 7. If you're a penalty killer on Vancouver, like, obviously, I know that, hey, don't take penalties. Yeah, Captain Obvious. But what are you doing? What's going through your mind? Like, do you think is it ever going through your head, oh, they're due? Or you're just like, no, we got them. I'm assuming that you go in with the latter. So then what do you think Edmonton's power play has to do to put in some seed of doubt to the penalty killers of Vancouver?
Yeah, I don't think you ever think you have them. I think you're holding your breath. And, I think everyone's committed, I think, and they've shown that, they're committed as a group to, clog the middle of the ice, have good sticks, and probably the most important thing, commit to being in the shooting lane and blocking shots. I think that, anytime they take a penalty, I'm sure their killers are just like, man, this is, it gets to you after a while, right?
Yeah.
So, because it's a big ask, and especially because, of McDavid and, when he gets moving around and kind of freestyles a little bit out there and his ability to get, to the middle of the ice, it makes it tough. And because he's so good at doing it, now you're collapsing and now when you bring the puck back to the point man, and especially Bouchard with his shot and the heaviness to it, I mean, you're not blocking shots like you normally, for 5 or 6 feet out, because you're collapsing so low, you're back in the zone and you're having to eat one. And there's really, there's a little bit of, technique to blocking a shot, but sometimes when, that's only when it's perfect. But when it's broken plays and when McDavid starts doing this freestyling, it's not as comfortable because you're not in the perfect position, and now you're eating them from 15 feet away.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't matter your blocking style or technique and how good it is. You're just going to eat one, and you're going to take it somewhere. And I think I think for the Oilers, like you said, Jason, you're not gonna hold them back too long. If it was me, I would probably start early with a couple of Bush bomb shots, just because it's, just to let them know. And especially if you can recover those, there's nothing worse when you block a shot and they recover the puck and you're like, oh no, because it's going right back to that guy and they're going to test you again. Right. So, if you can get a couple Bush bombs or just a couple shots in general, maybe they go off some ankles, couple soft spots, the rest of the 2 minutes there, that you're just, it's not a good feeling. So, and then because they're such a creative, skilled team, off of, when they're starting to scramble, the odds are McDavid's going to find a seam pass, and we all know what Draisaitl can score from the goal line.
Hey, Brownie, Quinn Hughes, how do you think he's played? He's a little banged up. I think everyone can see that. How do you think he's played in the series, and what have the Oilers done to contain him, so to speak?
Yeah, I think, everyone's got, every game I think takes a chunk out of everyone, right? So anyone playing 15 plus minutes is definitely banged up. He's fun to watch, especially from a defenseman's point of view. I always watch the D, and his mobility and his skating is just off the charts. His lateral movement, his deception on the blue line. It's you sit there and watch, and you hear different people talk. Get on him. Well, he's so deceptive and so good on his skating that he'll make you look like a fool, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they're going to have to continue to. He's not an overly big guy, right? So you got to make sure that you're hitting him. I think the one big thing with, all defensemen now, and especially him, he looks for you to go at him and try and finish and not to be in so much control. Like you're not going to probably those guys don't put them in great positions to get killed for the most part. Right. So when you do hit them, the biggest thing is making sure you stay on the defensive side and don't let them beat you up ice. Right. Because all those offensive guys, once they move it, if you go to finish your check and you're not in control, they're beating you up ice. And I think the Oilers have done a pretty good job of just, keeping him in a defensive position, and on the blue line, they've been pretty good at being in the shooting lane. He's had some pretty good looks, but for the most part, I'd say even on their power play, I mean, he's a pretty smart guy. He's not scared to just lob it in there. If he sees, a good net front presence, he'll just lob it in there and look for that top corner, and hopefully the net front guy's kind of taking Skinner or whoever's, well, it'd be Skinner, but taking the goalie's eyes away.
Well, Silver Spoon, we appreciate you coming on today. And we will chat with you on Friday. Give us a game prediction tonight.
Jesus, it's gonna be a tough one. I'll go 3-4. I'll go 4-2. I'll say, and I'll empty netter.
4-2, 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta go at. Sorry, but yeah. You got to go at me. You know what? McDavid and Draisaitl, and it's exciting. I mean, we always grow up in a part of that organization. You always hear about Yari Curry, Wayne Gretzky, and Mark Messier, and all the greats. And here's an opportunity now for, as good as those guys are, McDavid and Draisaitl, like they're excellent elite hockey players, superstars, right? But this is an opportunity where now we can start talking about these guys as the next ones. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they can take their game to and where they can take the Edmonton Oilers to.
Brownie, appreciate it, man. Have a great night. Enjoy the game.
See you, Brownie.
Okay, guys. Have fun. Okay, have fun.
It's Sean Silverspoon Brown here on Sports 1440. We'll come back. We got 5 questions. Spec. We'll hear more from the Oilers and the Canucks as we inch closer to Game 7 tonight. The Oilers, no lineup changes for them. The Canucks got a few. We'll update you on that and more. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
As spring buds into summer, Flyman is here to help. Have projects at the lake or backyard? Flyman sells and rents any type of utility trailer or 3-point attachments. Once the seeds are planted, farming doesn't take a break. See Flyman for everything you need, including agriculture drones for the farm. Don't be the last one to take flight. Call your Flyman dealer and discover how drones make farm life so much easier. With locations across Alberta, Flyman looks forward to seeing you. Or visit flyman.com.
Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 or more. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Book online today. I can tell by the look on your face you're thinking about it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling doesn't just heat your home. We heat the water in your home with hot water tanks installed from $14.99 a month.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
To have us bring comfort in your shower in a non-creepy way.
Call Legacy.
To never run out with endless hot water.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Tank or tankless, your hot water system has no payments, no interest for a year with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Todd Smollett named his business Park Memorial in 1941, a time where every other Edmonton funeral home was named for the family that owned it.
My grandfather believed in customers come first, so why should our name be up on a sign? And he wanted everyone to feel welcome. At that time, a family name could imply preference for one religion or ethnic group over another. It's amazing how his first business decision affected all the decisions that followed.
Park Memorial, providing service beyond expectation.
May is my birthday month, so Old Hippie has decided that anyone can stop by their Camrose location and buy a new dining room table. They'll even let you buy a bedroom suite. I know, heck of a deal. I do encourage you to visit their 50th Street location. It's huge and gives you a really good idea of what you can do in your home. You pick the wood, birch, oak, or pine, and you pick the stain you want. Go check out the custom-made quality furniture at Old Hippie. And please, tell them Jackie Ray sent you.
Playoffs, baby. And you don't want to miss a second of the action unless you're this guy. Go Sports? Back in your mom's basement. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. Finish that project fast with help from Metal Supermarkets. Metal cut to your precise measurements faster than you can say, wow, another gambling site commercial. Plus, in-house metal bending. See the pros at Metal Supermarkets before the game starts. The convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
What's cracking at Cattail Crossing? The Mixed and Mingle League. Join Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club every Thursday as they pair up males and females for a fun and social round of golf. Only $33.30 all season long. Details at cattailcrossing.ca.
The sports world never clocks out. Neither do we. Sports 1440 has you covered with Fox Sports tonight after 9 and all weekend long. So when you're ready to head home, we're warming up again. Sports 1440, bringing you an all-star performance every day.
I got my head checked.
Rolling through a lovely Monday afternoon. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Kevin Karras with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook. It is a game day, a game 7. Don't happen very often. Oilers have been in the NHL since 1980. This is their 12th time in a game 7. But they've had 2 in the Stanley Cup Finals, or they're 1-1. And this will be the 4th in round 2. Majority of them, of course, happen in round 1. And a victory tonight, they will move on. They'll come home after the game, win or lose. They would skate here on Tuesday, I would think, or maybe Tuesday's a day off. Might be a day off, actually. Yeah. And then
skate and fly Wednesday.
Skate and fly Wednesday morning, potentially, as they go to Dallas to take on the Stars on Thursday. And looks like that would be a Thursday, Saturday. And then it looks like next Monday would be the game in Edmonton.
Flip-flop every series, right? So East goes on the odd days and even days. Yep.
Perfect. Now, let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, where, hey, man, it's your final day today, up to 75% off clearance items in tent and in-store. And also 25% off Canadian-made sofas. So some great deals if you're thinking about it. Maybe you're in the mall right now or driving by a Brick store before you get to the big game. Check it out at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Your show, man. Cool.
Well, to me, honestly, I think it's just play with pace again. Yeah. When they move the puck quickly, they're a faster team than Vancouver, so use their speed to your advantage tonight.
I will say they need Stu Skinner to have a big game. They have to have a solid performance from their netminder, not the Stu Skinner that you saw in games 1, 2, and 3, where he allowed 12 goals on 58 shots. Stu Skinner needs to be the difference maker tonight.
On the flip side, then, what did the Vancouver Canucks need to do to get the job done and win Game 7?
I will say, Greg's, that they need to win the special teams battle. If they win the special teams battle, don't allow a power play goal, score a power play goal, got a pretty good chance to win.
I think for the Canucks, this has to be one where, because for the most part, in the games that Edmonton's won, you haven't seen a lot of glaring errors from Vancouver, where Edmonton self-destructed a bit. So I think if you're Vancouver, your key to success is try to keep the game close and hope and wait that Edmonton makes a glaring error.
Okay.
Question number 3. With that being said, what's your official prediction for the game tonight? And can we get a bold prediction to go along with it?
I will go. I'm on the same page with Brownie with a 4-2. Oilers win with an empty netter.
Okay.
And I will say that Brett Kulak will score a goal tonight.
Brett Kulak, all right. I have the Oilers winning 4-1. It might even stretch to 5 if they get an extra empty netter because the coach pulls his goalie because he doesn't want to quit, which I totally understand. And bold prediction will be
Connor Brown.
For the second consecutive Game 7, Cody Ceci scores a goal.
Oh.
That is bold. Question number 4. Since we had Rolly on this show earlier today, This is a hypothetical, of course. If you could add any Oilers alumni to the team, no Hall of Famers, who would you add?
Can I ask Connor, is this for the game tonight?
For the game tonight.
For the game tonight.
Well, and the rest of the playoffs.
And the rest of the playoffs?
Rest of the
Let's just
playoffs
worry
as
about
well.
tonight first. Do you want to go first, Greg? Or?
Yeah, I'm going to Bill Ranford.
Billy Ranford? Ooh.
Conn Smythe Trophy winner, dude.
That's
all day.
You can't. That's a solid. I never even thought of Bill. I was thinking forwards all the time. So, but I'm going to go because of a Game 7 goal. Todd Marchand.
Ooh.
That's who I'm going to go with.
Well, he would add a little tenacity to your third line. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, you could. There's lots of guys, right? I mean,
oh God.
I mean, sure, Dougie Waite.
Yeah. Because obviously, when people are texting in, remember he said no Hall of Famers.
No Hall of Famers.
So that changed because obviously then everybody would say Gretzky or Messier or Curry, Pronger, go down the list. Coffey's pretty good. Grand Fuhrer, there's lots of them. Glenn Anderson, pretty good guy when it comes to Game 7. Glenn Anderson in NHL history is tied for the seventh. Or sorry,
I like Bill
Ranford.
That's
Game
a good
7
pick,
goals.
Bill Ranford.
Yeah. Wow, Billy was unreal, man. Yeah. He was unreal, and a goaltender could steal you some games when you needed him. So that to me is the guy that I would go for sure.
Final question, guys. On this day in 1989, Field of Dreams premiered. So I'm going to ask you this. It doesn't have to be necessarily your favorite, but go-to sports movie when you need a good watch.
Well, I mean, I'm always the slap shot guy.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm gonna say is Remember the Titans.
Oh, it's
It's such a good movie. So I'm gonna go with that one just because it makes you feel good. And when you think about all the stuff that was happening away from the field, and then to see the team come together and have success, and then the storylines. Was it Bertier, the guy that was paralyzed?
Yeah.
Gary Bertier.
Gary Bertier went on in the Paralympics.
Yeah. Well, that's what's great about it. It's a true story too,
Yes.
right? And it's like the racial tension,
When they're running and they're in the morning and they go to what's the name of the place where they
camp, whatever, I can't remember it. But.
Yeah, but no, it was where
Gettysburg.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And and he gives the Denzel Washington gives the big speech and goes, lead in the bellies of all these guys this field is full of people that gave their lives, and we're still fighting centuries later, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to go to.
Yeah, that's a really good choice. Man, it's hard. Like my son's just getting to the age now where we're going to be able to watch a lot of these movies. Like I can't wait, man. Like there's so many movies I know some of my favorite movies he isn't going to like, but sports movies, most of them Hoosiers. But actually, one of my favorite sports movies that I think is underrated is For Love of the Game.
Yes.
And I like all the storylines, what's happening on the mound that day. Obviously, there's a little bit of the romance. So if you want to watch on a date, that part's good as well. But Kevin Costner in sports movies is fantastic. And I noticed he's got his new American Saga that's coming out. And so they've announced that the first part comes out in June and the second part comes out in August. Which is kind of bold because usually they wouldn't release both just in case the first one doesn't hit. But I'm just telling you, man, Costner might be the best sports movie actor.
Between golf and baseball. I really love that movie as well. I hate the part when she goes into the hospital. That's the only part I don't like. She's screaming about, isn't this America? Baseball's America. When he had his hand cut.
Yeah.
I don't like that part.
Yeah.
That's the only part.
Okay, that's valid.
But I really like, and they said that he threw pitch you're throwing a couple hundred pitches today.
Oh yeah,
and that's the way it's going to be. And he said no problem.
Yeah.
His arm was almost falling off, but didn't mind it.
Oh yeah,
and and Vince Scully's the best in there.
Yeah. Vince Scully's an announcer, is unreal. Now Major League though, Bob Uecker, it's comedy and stuff, but I love For Love of the Game just because it is something when you're watching, you're like, there are no hitters that are kind of similar to that, where you have some great defensive plays behind you. And I love his speech. He says, today, we're the best team in baseball. Yeah. Right? I love that speech. So.
And even when, and John C. Reilly's really good as a catcher.
Yeah.
And so he goes out to the mound and he says, hey, you almost took my hand off with that, that pitch in warm up. He said, give me a little notice, and he goes, well, I'm going to throw a little harder today. There's your notice.
Oh, yeah, there's some classics. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We'll take a quick break. When we return, Spec will join us here on a special Monday edition of the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Here is the Conman Sports Center update, brought to you by Booster Juice. Visit Booster Juice today and try the Strawberry Serenity Teaser, a perfect mix of strawberries and green tea that is sure to put a little extra spring in your step, only at Booster Juice.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day, the Edmonton Oilers beating the Vancouver Canucks. Game 7 out in Vancouver. Puck drop right around 7:20 as the loser go home for the Edmonton Oilers. Lineup's going to stay the same. Stuart Skinner gets the start between the pipes. Major League Baseball earlier today. Blue Jays victorious over the White Sox 9-3. Also the Padres knocking off the Braves 6-5 in Game 1 of their doubleheader. Game 2 is underway. Braves leading 1-0 midway through the third. Elsewhere, Guardians up on the Mets 2-1 in the fourth. In the second, it's scoreless between the Marlins and the Brewers. Twins, Nats also scoreless, as are the Red Sox and Rays. Heading into the second, still to come tonight. Yankees host the Mariners. Tigers take on the Royals. It's the Orioles in St. Louis. Houston up against the Astros. And the Dodgers meet the Diamondbacks in L.A. CFL preseason. We got a final. It was the Riders victorious over the Bombers 25-12. And the Edmonton Elks making a move today, signing American quarterback Cole McDonald. He returns to the CFL after spending parts of the 2021 season with the Argos. He most recently played in the XFL with the Houston Roughnecks back in 2023. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
What's cracking at Cattail? Maybe you've got the next tiger on your hands. Cattail Crossing offers young golfers Operation 36, a program to improve their growing skill set with other golfers their age. To register, email proshop@cattailcrossing.ca.
Playoffs, baby. And you don't want to miss a second of the action unless you're this guy. Go Sports? Back in your mom's basement. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. Finish that project fast with help from Metal Supermarkets. Metal cut to your precise measurements faster than you can say, wow, another gambling site commercial. Plus, in-house metal bending. See the pros at Metal Supermarkets before the game starts. The convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
We know it's important to families when they're grieving, because it's the same principles that guide our family-run business.
Kirsty Smolik from Park Memorial.
If I had to describe Park Memorial with one word, it would definitely be family.
And that one word is why customers describe Park Memorial with many others.
Empathy.
Professionalism.
Compassion. Understanding.
Helpful.
Informative. Park Memorial, providing service beyond expectation.
Tested tough garage doors and hardware. Rain and snow, day or night, we're the folks to call. We bring our truck right to your site. Garage doors, big or small. Get you working mighty fast.
And he's, well,
Hardware built to last.
Just
Door Surgeon, tested tough garage doors and hardware.
428.
Don't get
Presented by
stuck
Play.
without a spare key
428.
in your car or truck.
Yes, Lock Surgeon has hundreds of keys and has the latest equipment needed to cut and
Seven
program
tonight,
today's
we
advanced
were-
automotive keys and remotes.
Visit Lock Surgeon Automotive Key Center at 178th Street and 118th Avenue. Open weekdays 8 till 5:30. Saturday, yes, Saturday, 9 till 3.
Find us at locksurgeon.com.
Hey Leduc, it's me, Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy. What you might not know is that I started practicing physio here in Leduc more than 23 years ago. In those years since, I haven't forgotten the kind and welcoming people that trusted me then. It feels great to be back, but I know we have to live up to our promise, and that's to live up to our name. This means bringing a leading edge focus on our environments, technology, communities, and the people who will care for you, like Graham Raymond and Amanda McIsaac, two locals who want to make a difference in your life. We're now open in Leduc. Learn more about us at leadingedgephysio.com.
It's officially spring. Whether you're a seasoned landscaper or starting a new lawn care company, the Lawnmower Hospital can help with everything you'll need, from aerators and power rakes to walk lawnmowers, lawn edgers, and zero-turn tractors. Financing is available. Make spring yard care a breeze with the Lawnmower Hospital. LawnmowerHos.com.
We're more than mowers, the Lawnmower Hospital.
Make your dream home a reality with Jandel Homes. Discover the latest in home decor and stunning color palettes in our brand new show homes. From the site inspection to after-sales service, Jandel Homes makes sure everything is done right the first time, so you can focus on what truly matters, living well. See for yourself how Jandel Homes stands apart by putting your needs first, every step of the way. Visit us today and tour our new show homes. Jandel Homes, built for living, built for you.
What's cracking at Cattail? Their men's league. Play 18 holes for 18 weeks on Tuesdays from 2 to 6 p.m. Then complete the day and head to Out of Bounds. Recently ranked one of Canada's top 10 in fine dining restaurants. For details, visit cattailcrossing.ca.
Just after 5 o'clock, we are about 2 hours away from puck drop in Game 7. It's the Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks. Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game, whether you've tried it lots or just for the first time. Use the promo code Gregor50, Gregor50, and you'll get a free $50 wager with a minimum $5 deposit. PlayAlberta.ca. Oilers favorite tonight. So, hey, if you want to, use it all in one place. Be smart. Be safe. Play Alberta.ca. I'm Jason Gregor alongside Kevin Carius as it's time to get to the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. And all they want to say is good luck to the Oilers today. They are all Oiler fans just like you. And, hey, no one's working tonight at GS. They are watching Game 7. GS Construction. Mark Spector joins us from Vancouver. And Spec, the Canucks get some sad news on Brock Besser, blood clots in his leg. He is done for the playoffs, and that means a whole new line. JT Miller with Pettersson and Ilya Mikheyev. Please Suter will move down and center the fourth line, and they'll move Lindholm together with Garland and Dakota Joshua. It's kind of like they're just going to put all their best six. Well, although Mikheyev, we can have a debate over that. But right now, their best six and go kind of head-to-head, two lines. Do you think this favors the Oilers?
Well, it has to. You can't not when they lose their top scorer, their top goal scorer, their longest-serving player. I still think Miller's the best player in the team, but that's like the Oilers losing Draisaitl, right? He's their second best, most dangerous guy, maybe most, but. So, yes, it favors Edmonton. And you know what? If I'm Vancouver, I think I might be able to sustain this lineup for 60 minutes and get a win, and that's all that matters. We'll figure the rest out later. So I like what Tocchet's doing here. He's putting all his best guys up top. He's going to run those guys out a ton. And you know what? The Oilers are in a position to win a hockey game tonight that I think they should win.
Hey, Spec, how do you think Pettersson will play tonight, slotted in with JT Miller?
Well, maybe Miller can drag him into the fight, Kev. That's what we're hoping here. Certainly that's what Tocchet's out of moves with this cat. He's been working on this guy for 4 months, and he can't get him to play. I'll be honest with you. He's been a ghost in this series, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and we all know, I don't have to tell the listeners out there how Rick Tocchet played the game. So, he really got Brock Besser to be to take his game inside and to become a guy that goes. Brock Besser's never going to play the game like John Tonelli here, but he's gone inside and he's found the hard places and he's going in to get pucks and he's really become effective. I have a lot of respect for Brock Besser's game from where it was even a year ago. It's way better. Now it's Elias Pettersson's turn to figure out how to play a little harder and to get inside and to make a check once in a while. So, you know what? Like, what else are you going to do? You got this guy. He should be really good, and he hasn't been. You might as well give him a shot tonight because it's not like there's a lot of plan Bs out there for the Canucks.
Yeah, they don't have really, like, you know, Connor Garland, give him credit. That guy's competed hard. I like Joshua's game in this series. You know, I think that'll be a good matchup with Kane and Holloway up against that line. Like, that could be those could be some hell of a shifts. And I might make the argument if I'm Vancouver, I might try to run that Lindholm line against McDavid's line a little bit more, just because maybe, you know, you can grind them down a bit. So, you know, we'll see what they do there. The Oilers are going to the exact same lineup. Corey Perry's out again, and I don't think that's a major surprise. You couldn't take Sam Carrick out after the way he played in Game 6, and so I guess unless they're going to take Derek Ryan out for Corey Perry, which I guess maybe you could make an argument. Maybe he's a little bit under the weather. I don't know, but you know, you look at the Oilers spec in Game 6, they really dominated. Right, they didn't give up very much. They scored 5 goals at 5-on-5, almost matching what they did in the first 5 games at 5-on-5. And I wonder if that maybe is a little bit of a opening up the dam on Shelovs.
Well, maybe, you know, maybe opening up the dam. I would say to you, Jay, I'm opening up the dam more on the Oilers. You know, they've been waiting to get to. This is a team that in any stretch of 6 games, they get to 5, usually more than once. And the Canucks have been very good. The Canucks have somehow stopped Edmonton from, you know, they're holding them to 2-goal games, 3-goal games. So, you know, I don't know what to say to you about this series. There's been no momentum. No one's won 2 in a row. No. But if ever I saw a time where you might be able to, where I see a trend in this series, you know, I see a bit of a trend here. Edmonton's got some guys feeling good about their offense. Edmonton just shut them down to a sub 20 shot night again. You know, I don't know how well Skinner played. I assume he's ready to play well. We really barely saw him last game. And Shelov's got a little bit ventilated last game. So, you know, the Canucks don't just have 1 or 2 things to turn around, guys. They got about 5 things to turn around. And Edmonton, on the other hand, if they do some semblance of what they did in Game 6, I like their chances.
Hey, Spec, what did you like about Sam Carrick's game in Game 6?
Well, he's a little more physical than Ryan in that spot. Like a fourth line center's got a bang, right? That's what, at least in my world, he does. You know, a fourth line center's got a bang. I give Ryan credit. I was sitting next to a scout the other night, and he said, as Ryan made a nice play, he said, "Man, that number 10," he says, "every time I look down, he's making a smart play." And that's what he is. He's smart, smart player. Doesn't skate that great. And if he gets a chance to finish, he's pretty good at it. So I don't, you know, I'm not taking, I like Ryan. He's okay. But in my fourth line center role, I don't mind a guy who's a little beefier, who throws a few hits, and certainly during the regular season, who will throw down once in a while. So there's got to be room on this team for Sam Carrick somewhere. And in a series like this has got to be the place, or don't play him at all. Isn't it true? Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I think I thought he did exactly what you want. He won faceoffs, which is key because they were kind of getting pumped in the faceoff circle in the previous few games.
Drew the penalty.
Yeah, drew the penalty. He had 6 hits, like in 11 minutes to just under 11 minutes. It's not much more you can want from the guy, right? So I think they liked everything, and I expected him to bring that, right? Like, trust me, it was hard for him to, you know, you get traded here, you finally get in your first NHL games in the first series, you're pretty excited, and then boom. You come out. So I think it's, you know what? There's 2 ways you can look at it. Guys get put in the series and they don't make an impression. It's easy to take the guy back out. So now more than ever, you got to show up. And, you know, as the games get tighter and grind, that's the one thing Carrick can play. He can grind out the game. So, you know, like, obviously we know his foot speed isn't the best, but he finds a way, despite not being the fastest guy. He's always around the puck. He's always around the puck carrier. You know, he's allowed to get some hits on the forecheck, and I think that fourth line had another solid game for you. And so we'll see. Now, Spec, you being around the players, you know, the Oilers, they lost a Game 7 in 2017. It was their first time through. Then they won in very convincing fashion against LA. Didn't give up very much. Outshot them. I think it was 42-28 that night when Mike Smith had the shutout back in 2022. You know what? They did lose to Vegas, so they've had some ups and downs. But I look at the experience factor, and the Oilers, the only guys who haven't played in a Game 7 are Skinner, Desharnais, and Holloway. Right? Everybody else in their lineup has played in one, and in a lot of cases, multiple Game 7s. Whereas Vancouver has very few guys who have played. Their list of guys who haven't played is much longer than guys who have played. And I wonder how much that will play into effect tonight.
Well, I think, experience is something that it's only an advantage when it becomes an advantage. Like in this series, Edmonton's a way more experienced playoff team than these guys, right? Some of the players, like let's say the Pettersson, I think he had coming in the series, he had something like 27 playoff games or 20 playoff games, something 25, something like that. But my point is, most of them came in the bubble, and those weren't even the playoffs, right? There's no crowds, there's no travel, there's that doesn't even count the bubble. So Edmonton has a vast experience, advantage in playoff experience in the series, and a vast advantage in Game 7 experience. And I'm not telling you that helps you every period of every game, Jay and Kevin, but I am telling you as we go into Game 7, it helps now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It helps now when you could say to yourself, I've done this. What I did last time worked. The way I prepared last time worked. I didn't get, if I got really pumped up and we won, then I'm doing it again. And if I didn't and we won, I'm going to do that again. So yes, a lot was made of playoff experience. And I'm not going to say to you that every game throughout Edmonton's played that advantage in their hand. Tonight, there's no question. It's an advantage and Edmonton's got it.
Yeah. What feeling did you get from this morning's spec? And, just even listening and talking to Chris Knobloch and, you got from him, I got the feeling that, everything's been said that can be said. Just got to go out and play.
Yeah, they're calm. The Oilers are a very calm team for sure. And a calm organization. Can I say that, guys? Like this is an organization when Stu Skinner's coming off the mat and coming out to play his first game, they run him out to the media and he talks in the morning and he's calm and he has a conversation with all you guys and me and all the other media. He has a couple of laughs and he just, there's an air of calmness there. Today, we get Connor McDavid. We get, we're supposed to get Leon Draisaitl. It was a miscommunication. He left by mistake, but he was ready to talk. We got big Matthias Ekholm, My point is this, like the other guys are they close their dressing room. You never get, I haven't even said a word to Shelovs yet. I don't like the look of it. I know we're only media and some people don't care about that. But when we talked to Connor McDavid this morning, you're talking to the best player in the world on the morning of the biggest game of the season. And he's saying, hey, we feel great. He's telling you how calm his team is. And to me, there's something there. The message Connor McDavid gave the world today was, hey, I don't know what's going on in the other room, but don't worry about us. We're going to be fine.
Yeah. Well, it's back for number one. I think it's important for players to do it. Number two, I think you got a Vancouver fan base that is rabid about how their team is playing. And then you don't have guys talk to the media, which is essentially talking to their fans. Like, to me, it's a big slap in the face. I think it's stupid. And I think it's, you're overthinking things. And you just set a Brad precedent. And the thing is, I don't believe it comes from the coach, because if there's one guy who never shies away from talking, it's Rick Talking. No. So it's an odd one. So we'll see how it goes. Spec, what is your prediction tonight? What do you expect to see unfold in Vancouver?
Well, oh my goodness, who can really say, right? I'm going to say this, guys. If I'm the Oilers, okay, I thought I missed an opportunity a year ago with Vegas. I blew that opportunity. Edmonton was in charge of that series and they let it get away. Well, this opportunity against a team that hasn't won anything, against a team that doesn't have its number one goalie, against a team that just lost its best goal scorer and points leader. You want to talk about a missed opportunity if you don't win a hockey game. That's it tonight. I think the Oilers will seize this opportunity and win a hockey game. I do. Don't ask me for a score like 4-2 or something, but I just think that this Oilers team made a mistake a year ago, letting Vegas off the mat the way they did. I don't think they're going to do it twice in a row.
You can't get opportunities like this, right, Spec? I mean, they just don't fall in your lap like this. Again, number one goalie out, top scorer, the guy that has 4 goals on opening night. hat trick again. These opportunities don't come. You have to seize the moment.
Yeah, Besser's been killing them all year long and hurting them in this series. And let's keep going down the road. Elias Pettersson has not helped Vancouver win this series. Quinn Hughes is getting his lunch fed to him by Evan Bouchard. So as I said earlier, and I know you guys are moving on here, but as I said earlier, I think the Canucks have a lot. They can do this. Like, the Canucks can win, but they got a lot of things they got to turn around in the other direction. And the Edmonton Oilers don't have a lot of things they have to turn around in the other direction. I think if the Oilers play strong and play the way they've been playing, it's going to be enough.
Spec, it should be fun. Enjoy the atmosphere. It'll be rocking in Vancouver, at least to start the game. But I agree with you, probably not at the end of the game. Have yourself a wonderful Monday.
I'll talk to you, Kev, at 7 Pacific tomorrow morning, brother.
Perfect. Sounds good. Talk to you then. Thanks, Spec.
There you go. That's the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Kevin Carius. When we come back, we're going to have a little bit of fun with Game 7. Some numbers for you.
Are we going to have some fun, or are you just saying we're going to have some
fun? No, we're going to have some fun.
You know what that's from?
Yes, I do. I can't remember the movie.
No, it's Seinfeld. Yeah. You guys want to have some fun, or are you just saying you want to have some fun? I got a trunk load of Titleist. Head out to the beach and we can hit them into the ocean. Then I'm just saying I want to have fun.
Yeah,
that's George.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly,
saying.
George,
I really want to have fun.
Yeah, George. Yeah, I'm just saying I want to have fun. That's such a classic Costanza line because it's true, and everybody knows a buddy like that too. No, I don't want to have fun. I'm just saying I want to have fun. Oh, it's awesome. We'll come back and a few of fun little trivia for you. If you want to go around, you're going to a watch party tonight. If you want to stump your friends, we got some stuff for you.
Vision Credit Union is proud to serve rural Albertan entrepreneurs, business owners like Tanya Greenwald, who owns the Sweetery in downtown Camrose. Tanya and her team are up at the crack of dawn most days, baking cakes, cupcakes, donuts, macarons, cookies, cheesecakes, and other treats to fill the shelves at her pretty bakery. Now, that's a sweet way to get down to business. Looking for financial services to help your company get down to business? Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Excited or still kind of keep an even keel?
Hi, it's Maddie from Jack's Drive-In. They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And at Jack's Drive-In, we make breakfast quick, delicious, and priced right all day long. Enjoy our popular Eggs Benny Express or try our very own cheddar cheese omelet sandwich. Start your day here. jacksdrivein.ca.
Jack's Drive-In, Spruce Grove. If you're looking for someone who knows real estate and has your best interest in mind, you need Wally Wrobleski. Wally's worked in banking, he's managed rental properties, so he's seen the real estate market from every angle and can help find the best fit for you in this market. His number one focus is making sure you have a full understanding of what the best situation is for you. Call or text Wally Wrobleski at Central Agencies Realty in Camrose today, 780-781-7323.
This is Wally, and together we'll make it happen.
An accident. And it wasn't your fault.
How do I get the compensation and support I need? Can someone please help me with all these forms?
Why are the adjusters calling me?
What kind of work will I be able to do now? Is anyone listening?
It feels like no one has my back.
Robinson LLP does. Visit RobinsonLLP.com to find your injury lawyer. Robinson LLP, the recovery team.
Legacy Heating and Cooling Jingle auditions take one for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat.
Legacy, Legacy.
We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah. Well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hey, it's Celine from R&D Hot Tubs. We've teamed with Solaris Canada to carry their full line of awnings, retractable screen doors, and patio doors. Need a hand to install your new Solaris product? No problem. R&D Hot Tubs has also teamed with Paquette Construction for installations. Need a concrete pad for your hot tub, a swim spa, patio, or other outdoor structure? Paquette can do that too. Drop in or call us for a free consultation. R&D Hot Tubs Camrose.
People survive the loss of a loved one when they have the support of both family and their extended family.
Kirsty Smolik from Park Memorial.
At Park Memorial, we also have the support of an extended family in the over 60 people who work at our 5 locations. Many are licensed with special training. Others are just really great at helping people. They're the reason we're able to provide comfort and care, day or night, when your family needs it.
Park Memorial, providing service beyond expectation.
Hey, Edmonton sports fans, this is Jason Smith from Fox Sports. Weeknights starting at 9. Join me and Mike Harmon as we talk about what happened today in sports and updates on games in play. That's weeknights 9 to midnight on Sports 1440.
Welcome back. 525, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Kevin Karras. Oh, one big thing. Hey, Gregor, did you ask Karras why he doesn't follow Low Tide on Twitter? I haven't. Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. I don't follow many people.
You barely follow yourself.
Well, at least I didn't. Did I block him, Duke? Like Whit? Yeah, that was what Whit said. Why did you block me on Twitter? I didn't even know I did.
You blocked who? Ryan Whitney?
Yeah.
What a jabroni.
So, I don't know. Let's go find Low Tide and I'll try to follow him.
Jeez, you don't know how to hit the button? Oh, that was awesome. It was such a subtle little
Low
dig
Tide.
by him. Oh, it was absolutely. Just one word, eh? L-O-W-E. Tide.
I can't even find it.
Oh, my God.
L-O-W.
Like low tide.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Nice.
Low Tide. There it is. Okay, I got him.
There's an infinite number of
Follow.
machinists.
See?
Yeah, there you
Low
go.
Tide.
Oh,
He even follows me. Isn't that nice of him?
yeah. Well, there you go. So
Wow.
now you've figured out how to follow someone.
Look at this. Proud to write for the and host of the Lowdown noon to 2 weekdays. That's the Lowdown.
There you go. Good stuff. Hey, do you know the only Vancouver Canuck player who has a goal in Game 7s?
The only Canuck player.
Yeah, and he has 2, in fact.
That's a good. Is it an obvious one?
No.
I will go with Connor Garland.
No, he's never played in a Game 7.
Okay.
The big man, Tyler Myers.
Oh, really? Good for him.
He scored his first Game 7 with Buffalo in 2011, then scored in his second Game 7 as a member of the Winnipeg Jets in 18, and then the Canucks got shut out. Their last time as a Game 7, the Canucks got shut out. The last time the Oilers had a Game 7, they shut out the opposition. So
It wasn't that long ago they wanted to run this guy out of Vancouver.
yeah, 100%.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of years ago they were like,
Oh, God.
said it was a work contract.
Earlier this year, same with JT Miller. They were all over JT.
People are so dumb. Like, why? You know, if you got a fan base like that, and you got like JT Miller's one of the best players in the league.
Oh, he's highly competitive, man. Highly competitive.
What do you want?
Yeah. Well,
And
honestly,
these are your own fans. Like,
yeah,
you know?
honestly, I think he came in and he was a no BS type of guy. And honestly, their organization hadn't won a lot. I think there were some people that just, you can't be hard on others. You can't talk about your teammates that way. You can't demand more. And now they realize that they're wrong. Now they chant, like I'll say right now, he's probably the most favorite player on their team. As good as Quinn Hughes is, they don't chant Quinn Hughes like they chant JT Miller at the games. And like they chant it not only at the games, they chant it everywhere. That's a cool thing.
I see this one here, Greg's on the text line. I know the answer to this one. That about which team has never appeared in a Game 7. I know the answer to that one. Do you know it?
The Columbus Blue Jackets?
Yes, and that comes from the Gauger, yeah.
Yeah.
Columbus Blue Jackets, the only
Yes.
team never to appear in a playoff Game 7. Only one of them.
Yeah, the Seattle Kraken have appeared in 2, both in their first year in the playoffs. Well, that's another good one. The guy who scored in both games for Seattle, Oliver Bjorkstrand, had quite quite the Game 7 playoffs for himself last year. 3 goals in Game 7. The great one, if you're looking for a trivia question, if you're going tonight with your friends, you wait till the first period. In the history of the NHL, in Game 7s, there has been 8 hat tricks. Now, Gretzky had one, not as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. You had Esa Tikkanen, Oilers fans will remember, in 1991, including the overtime winner against the Calgary Flames. Jeff Courtnall had a hat trick in 1992 as a member of the Vancouver Canucks against the Winnipeg Jets. And there is a player in tonight's game who also is one of only 8 players all time to have a hat trick in Game 7. And Oilers fans know, they just think, okay, well, who's been here since 2017? It's not McDavid. It's not Draisaitl. It's not Nugent Hopkins. Not Nurse, not Bouchard, not Kane. He had a hat trick with
I know who it is.
The Vegas Golden Knights.
Matthias Janmark.
That is it's quite the list for old Matthias, man. I love that. Is honestly one of the best obscure trivia quite. Like if you there's actually 2 active players who have Game 7 hat tricks. Matthias Janmark is one. You know the other one?
No.
Kiri Venta. Remember when he scored in the bubble with the Dallas Stars? Like 2 guys that you would never expect in a Game 7 to score a hat trick. So, and there's only been 8 of them all time. Obviously, it's hard to do, right? Tonight will be the 197th overtime Game 7 in NHL history.
Matthias Janmark played 26 games in the playoffs for Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Now, that was also the year, though, that 3 of those, it should be 23.
Right. It should be because that's the first play-in round.
Yeah. The 3 games for them, they weren't even the play. Remember, because the top 4 teams didn't have to play. They just played each other once.
Oh, yeah.
Just to keep going.
Right,
so those 3 games, I know they're counted in the, it's kind of
26.
ridiculous.
That's a lot of playoff games.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. But the first 3 weren't even like, they were just like, hey, let's play around that. And that impacted the seeding. I get it, but still. So there's the year, if you look, there's some guys who played a few more games, but no, he
and he played 16 in 2021 with Vegas. 16.
Oh yeah, no, he's got a lot of experience. Janmark's been really good in this series.
He has.
Right, he's a solid depth player who never makes mistakes.
And
Rarely makes.
And he has the ability to move up and down wherever you need him.
Yeah,
he fits in wherever it's necessary.
Hey guys, people don't realize there's only been 24 perfect games in 145 years of Major League Baseball. That's what I love about For Love of the Game from Rowdy Roddy.
Only one in the World Series. Don Larson, 1956. And
that's unbelievable.
Don Larson was asked, 40 years later, after, every time it comes along in the World Series, he was asked, do you ever get sick and tired about talking about your perfect game in the World Series?
Why
he goes, no, should I?
Yeah. Like, how could you? How would you ever?
No, should I?
Like, kidding me? It's like one of the greatest performances of all time. And someone comes up to you, hey, Don, so what were you thinking in the 7th inning? Well, you would remember every moment of that game for the rest of your life. How could you not?
Yogi Berra was the catcher. It's the iconic video at the end of the final pitch where Yogi Berra jumps into his arms. And I think a lot of people have seen that. So that's iconic, Yogi Berra.
Hey guys, I realize it's an Edmonton radio station. The Nation Network is Edmonton-centric. It's shocking how little chance the Canucks are being given. Even the obligatory cliche at the end of the segment predictions where almost all commentators say anything can happen. Having McDavid as the trump card, and without Demko and Besser, I think the narrative should be if the Oilers don't win, it's newsworthy. But I think the Canucks still have a path to win from Randy. Well, I said at the start of the show, the Oilers, if they lose, there's going to be infinitely more anger, vitriol, frustration, disappointment than if the Canucks lose. Edmonton was expected at the start of the series to win. They were picked by everybody to win. You look at how the series has unfolded. There's only been one game where Vancouver's being the better team. That was in Game 5. Every other game, Edmonton's being the better team, and they should win. Now, if they don't, it'll be a disaster.
Yeah,
no question about it. But
especially with Besser, that's going to come into play. If Vancouver wins without Besser and Demko,
oh yeah, no, it'll be a massive disappointment for Edmonton. There's no question about it. But I think even when Besser was in the lineup, Edmonton controlled 4 of those or 5 of those 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
They should be able to beat them anyway. They have the better team. They have the healthier team. And they should win. And I expect them to win just because I think they're the better team. And more often than not, in a 7-game series, not always, but more often than not, unless there's a key injury during the season, because Demko wasn't here at the start of the series. So I don't really count him. He hasn't played the whole series. So who cares? He hasn't played the whole series. That makes Edmonton the better team. So usually in a 7-game series, the better team prevails. Not always. We saw the Oilers in 97.
You can also say, though, too, if the goaltender, whoever it is, and if you're saying in this case it's Shelov's, because everyone is saying that the Oilers are favorite tonight. If Shelov's stands on his head and pulls one out, then that has to come into play too.
Yeah. Oh, it's possible. And you know what? He faced a lot of shots. He didn't face a lot of quality shots in that 45 shot appearance in game 3. I look at the Oilers. The other fun stat tonight, the team that has taken the first penalty,
that's weird,
is 6-0. And guess what? The first penalty of the game has occurred in the first 3 minutes and 53 seconds of every game. The Canucks have taken penalties 40 seconds in, 45 seconds in, and 3:44 in. The Oilers have taken a penalty at $1:46 last game, 3:32 and 3:53. So all of them have happened under the first 4 minutes of the game. And the team who took the first penalty has won every game.
That's crazy.
So if because I know there's all these Oilers fans, Chris Rooney's reffing the game. Yeah, okay. Well, if he calls a penalty on your team early, you should be happy because clearly that means he wants them to win. So just remember that. Clearly he wants them to win. So I don't buy into any of that. So we'll see. But team that has scored first, the Oilers have they scored first in every one of their losses. Now they've also scored first, and they've scored first in 5 of the 6 games. And so they've managed to come out better most games. Problem is they've given up the lead in 3 of them, which is not ideal. So just because they score first tonight, historically, that should bode well. But in this series, they are 2-3 when scoring first. So they'll need to clamp down if they get the win or the lead, I should say, and crack down against the Vancouver Canucks. A few other numbers and notes for you. The Oilers, the 5-on-5 goal outburst. Their forwards in the first 5 games had 4 goals 5-on-5. And then their forwards scored 4 goals 5-on-5 in game 6. So that's a big step for them. Dylan Holloway, Evander Kane has now scored in back-to-back games. They needed that. The Vancouver Canucks, the big blow about Brock Besser is just how many goals he's scored and how few goals anybody else has scored for the Canucks in this series. Right? That's what their challenge is. Like when I saw that news come down yesterday, I was just like that's a devastating blow for the Canucks. There's no doubt about it. He's been a big time performer for them in this series, right? He has the most. Well, Lindholm has 3 with him. We thought he had the hat trick the one game. They ended up giving it to Lindholm, but Besser's been their leading scorer in this series so far. Now JT Miller does have 6 points as well, so we'll see. The Quinn Hughes is I think interesting one. He doesn't have a goal in the series. He has 4 assists, but all of Hughes only has 1 point at even strength through 6 games. And he was kind of the guy in the regular season that was really kind of their maestro, if we wanted to call it that. He had 54 of his 92 points were even strength in the regular season. He only has 1 this series.
And Bouchard has twice as many points as Quinn Hughes right now in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Well, look at this series alone. Bouchard has 4 goals. No, Bouchard, if you're looking at impact on the series, I'm not saying who's a better player, because I think when Hughes is healthy, he's an overall better player.
Yeah.
But Evan, and not by nearly the margin that some people want to tell you, but Evan Bouchard in this series has been infinitely more impactful. He's got 4 goals. They're all 5-on-5, right? Then you throw in the assists he's had. He's been better. And so if you say, yeah, but I didn't like him in game 5 on the goal. Okay, well, did you like Quinn Hughes when Dylan Holloway turnstiled him? So those plays even out 1-1. Bouchard's been on the ice for way more goals. Hughes has only been on the ice. Never mind points, Kev. He's only been on the ice for 2 goals scored for Vancouver 5-on-5 in the whole series. So that they will need, and we talked earlier about from Wyatt Arndt and Kevin Woodley both said if Vancouver's going to win, like Edmonton's best players have showed up for the most part, so you would expect him to. But Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes, that's two of their top three leading point guys.
Getters.
They got to show up here tonight. If they don't show up, Vancouver, I don't think has any chance to win this game. I just think it's too hard.
Yeah.
Eventually, you need your top guys to show up. Now, take a quick break. Come back. We'll wrap things up. We'll get to the Assured Motorsports lineup of the day and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Barbecue lovers, this is the experience you dream of. Smoke, barbecue, and bar. Indulge your barbecue fantasies with fall-off-the-bone ribs, tender pulled pork, smoked chicken wings, and more. Featuring a variety of custom dry rub flavors. The cocktail menu brims with classics and new favorites to discover. For stylish corporate events or an unforgettably tasty night out, Edmonton's home for barbecue is Smoke Barbecue and Bar, downtown, across from the Ice District. Smokebar.ca.
They're pumped for the playoffs. The Sports Bar at Century Casino Edmonton, where every seat is the best seat in the house. Tons of screens, so you never miss a moment of the on-ice action. Plus daily food and drink features, and every sports fan's favorites with a menu that's truly top shelf. So get loud and join the fun right here. The best time of the year. Playoffs.
Every day is game day at Century Sports Bar and Lounge.
As spring buds into summer, Flyman is here to help. Have projects at the lake or backyard? Flyman sells and rents any type of utility trailer or three-point attachments. Once the seeds are planted, farming doesn't take a break. See Flyman for everything you need, including agriculture drones for the farm. Don't be the last one to take flight. Call your Flyman dealer and discover how drones make farm life so much easier. With locations across Alberta, Flyman looks forward to seeing you. Or visit flyman.com.
Don't wait until it's too late. Take control and establish your baseline hearing. Hi, I'm Carmel from Discover Hearing in St. Albert. By establishing a baseline now, you're not only protecting yourself, but laying the groundwork for potential future claims related to hearing loss. Let's safeguard your hearing together. Book an appointment now at discoverhearing.ca or call 780-418-4327.
Discover what you've been missing. Discover Hearing.
May is my birthday month, so Old Hippie has decided that anyone can stop by their Camrose location and buy a new dining room table. They'll even let you buy a bedroom suite. I know, heck of a deal. I do encourage you to visit their 50th Street location. It's huge and gives you a really good idea of what you can do in your home. You pick the wood, birch, oak, or pine, and you pick the stain you want. Go check out the custom-made quality furniture at Old Hippie. And please, tell them Jackie Ray sent you.
Been there? Scrap that. Metal Neck Salvage.
With public scrapyard locations in Camrose and Drayton Valley, they'll even come to you. Metal Necks has the trailers and equipment to haul anything away, and not just the good stuff. They'll take it all and pay you more. Their crew also tackles farm, oil field, and industrial site cleanups. Book now for spring. Plus, demolition and roll-off bin services. Details at metalnecks.ca and on Facebook.
Taking care of their customers one piece at a time. Metal Neck Salvage.
Great memories that last forever can be built around the dinner table, and Sandy View Farms wants to be there for every moment. Sandy View supplies you with quality meat, setting the table for any delicious meal, supporting the community by turning to local farmers for a great supply of beef, bison, pork, and chicken with a continuous supply every week. They have the perfect selection no matter the occasion, making each one perfect. Stop by Sandy View Farms or call 780-962-0067 to place an order today.
The Toronto Blue Jays are on Sports 1440. Every weekend, catch all the action with play-by-play announcer Ben Schulman. The Blue Jays, this Saturday and Sunday on Sports 1440. Edmonton's home for all things sports.
Oh, look at the con man trying to send a little Joey Moss vibes to the Oilers for Game 7. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you. Man,
You ever
lots
see
of
that movie, La Bamba?
Yeah.
Richie
Are you
Valens?
kidding me? It's unreal. Big
Lou
Bob.
Diamond Phillips.
Oh, he was great. Yes, I love that movie. Jason Gregor, Kevin Karras. Also live on Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. People are getting fired up for the game tonight. Of course, stay on the Oilers Nation YouTube channel because Bordsy will be coming up with the pregame show. Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks should be one hell of a tilt tonight. No question. There's more pressure on the Edmonton Oilers. They I think are a team that most people favored going in, especially when the playoffs with the no Demko. And the series is stretched to 7 games, large in part because I think the Oilers have shot themselves in the foot too much in some of these games. And, they got the pressure on them tonight. Now, they've been in this situation before, some of their main guys. We saw them step up and elevate their play in Game 6 after a subpar Game 5. And, now they'll have to do it again. They should feel confident, but that doesn't mean you win. You got to play. And I don't know, Kev. I feel like if the Oilers lose tonight, it will be I'll be fascinated by what would happen in the offseason. If they lose. I don't expect them to lose, but if they lose.
And I mean, basically it starts with Ken Holland, does it not?
Yes. Well, I think, regardless win or lose, I think Ken Holland's retiring.
Right.
That's everything. Everybody I've talked to about it. I remember talking to Ken actually a year or so ago about it. He talked about, because I asked him, I said, like, at what point do you want? He goes, well, you know what, man? There's more time to spend with my wife. There's more things to do other than hockey, my grandkids. And so obviously now saying that, and anybody out there who's ever retired will tell you, you're okay. You know what? I think I'm ready to retire in 18 months because it's down the road. And then all of a sudden you get there and now it's, I got to retire today.
Am I sure?
Yeah. Am I ready? So I wouldn't be surprised if he left as the GM, but stays on in like a consultant role for a year. I wouldn't be surprised at all about that. He has tons of experience, right? Like, why wouldn't the new GM, hey, you know what, man, what do you think about this? You got any tips on trade negotiations or yada, yada? Because got to remember, the Oilers are heading into a massively important offseason because starting July 1st, and I know we all know you can negotiate before then, Leon Draisaitl's extension comes up.
So when you look at the big picture, when you look at tonight's game, no one wants to look ahead to the big picture yet because
the players don't for sure.
No one does.
No
one does because, and this all started last year. It started at the end of, you were in the room. I was in the room and you saw Leon come out and you saw Connor come out and they were devastated after the loss in Game 6 here to Vegas.
Oh yeah.
They were devastated and it all started then. It started then, and then in the off season, and it was the cup or bust thing, and then it was the captain skates. Everyone's coming in early, and everyone is here 2-3 weeks before training camp started because they felt that this was the process that they needed to rectify what happened against Vegas.
Yeah,
and now that comes down to one game tonight.
Yeah,
they don't win tonight.
Oh yeah.
It is not going to be a good scene around here, man.
No, not all. Now, by the way, tonight is the Oilers' 40th playoff game in the last 3 years. Only the Florida Panthers have played more in 42. So, the Oilers they've had good run. Now, I know they haven't won, but get into a conference final, get in Game 7, and being in this. There's only 3 teams even being in the second round all 3 years. Florida, Carolina, and Edmonton.
Which leads to Ken Holland's philosophy. You not only do you have to not just make the playoffs, you have to have success in the playoffs. And at some point, that success turns into a championship.
It should.
Because that's his philosophy.
Yeah. And it's worked most places, but definitely not always. Now, let's get to the lineup report brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine for all your service troubles. Whether you need an inspection, a test run, some trailer TLC, stop in. And they'll help you out. All makes and models of boats, motorcycles, and ATVs. Get it fixed up so you're ready to roll all summer long at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. The Vancouver Canucks, obviously Brock Besser is out, so they've jigged a few of their lines, in fact. Yep. They're going to have, basically, from last game, they're going to have all 4 different lines. They will have JT Miller with Elias Pettersson and Ilya Mikheyev. He comes in for Brock Besser. Elias Lindholm will now have Connor Garland and Dakota Joshua as his wingers.
And that was the best line that they had going before.
Yeah, those two. Yeah.
Well, when they had Lindholm between Joshua and Connor Garland, that was the best line they had going.
Yeah.
Most consistent. And then they had to mix it up when Pedersen slid in there on the right side, right?
Yeah. Well, he's doing nothing. Yeah. Teddy Bluger with Phil DiGiuseppe and Nils Alman. And then they'll have Puis Suter, who's moving off the top line. He's going to center Nils Höglander and Sam Lafferty. Their defense pair stay the same. Hughes and Roenick, Soucy and Myers. And, of course, Zadorov and Ian Cole. And Arturs Shilovs will be in between the pipes for the Vancouver Canucks. The Edmonton Oilers will be status quo from Game 6. McDavid with Hyman and Nugent Hopkins. Draisaitl with Kane and Dylan Holloway, who scored one of the best goals of the playoff in Game 6. Ryan McLeod with Derek Ryan on the right side, Warren Fogle on the left, Sam Carrick, Connor Brown, and Matthias Janmark, one of only 8 players in NHL history with a hat trick in Game 7. Evan Bouchard, Matthias Ekholm, Vincent Desharnais, Darnell Nurse, Cody Ceci, and Brett Kulak. And, of course, Stuart Skinner will get his 5th start of this series, fresh off stopping 16 of 17 in Game 6. So we've made our predictions.
Who did you say was going to score off the wall?
Oh, yeah, no, let's do that. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
but I thought
no, we didn't ask. We asked that off air. I didn't ask you on the air. So here is, we've talked about, hey, if Draisaitl or McDavid scores or Hyman, no one's like, ooh, I can't believe he scored, right? Even if Holloway or Kane scores at this point. So my question is to you, who scores an obscure goal for the Edmonton Oilers tonight? Who's your best candidate to show up on the goal scoring sheet that you would not expect?
I'll say it because it was in the 5 questions and I sort of branched off. So I'll just stay with that. I'll say Brett Kulak.
Connor?
Playoff Kulak is my guy, but I will take Vinny Desharnais.
Ooh, that would
going
be
very bold here.
Man, he might have his best scoring chance of his career early in the series when he was right down low in the slot area in Game 3.
Yes, yeah.
Right? That's probably the best scoring chance had in his entire career.
Yeah.
I will go with Matthias Janmark, the Game 7 man. Matthias Janmark scores tonight, which would be quite the surprise, to be honest. We got a lot of texts coming in. Connor Brown getting a lot of love on the text line. Now, earlier I did say Cody Ceci in 5 questions. So, because that was my bold prediction. But Cody Ceci scoring in back-to-back Game 7s for the Edmonton Oilers would be quite stunning. But hey, Tyler Myers, he did it. His first 2 Game 7s, he scored a goal once with Buffalo, once with Winnipeg. So you never know. Usually, I went through the last 4 or 5 Game 7s. The thing is, there hasn't been a lot of goals lately in Game 7s. That's the challenge if you're looking for it. As I mentioned, this year there's been the last 3 games going back to last year have all been 2-1. Dallas beat Vegas 2-1. Boston beat Toronto 2-1 in overtime. Dallas beat Seattle 2-1. Devils 4-0. Got to go back to a game that if the normal line is like 6. To get over 6, Florida-Boston last year in the first round. The Rangers in Carolina in 2022. Rangers in Pittsburgh in 2022 as well. And the Oilers, you got to go back a ways for the last time they had an over in Game 7 because, of course, they won 2-0 to the Kings. They lost 2-1 to Anaheim. Everybody knows they lost 3-1 to Carolina in 06.
Did you see this text, Griggs, from Bix, I guess it is? Obscure stat the other day, most combined regular season and playoff game-winning goals by a D-man in one season.
Paul Coffey's
10.
Evan Bouchard.
10.
Oof, there you go.
Impressive.
Nice. Well, have a great Game 7, everyone. Enjoy it. Kevin and the Duke will have all of the post-game reaction tomorrow morning. Enjoy it. On behalf of Kevin Karras, Connor Halley, I'm Jason Gregor. Let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Get up to $5,300 cash purchase credit on a 2024 Sierra 1500 Denali Ultimate. Plus, eligible Costco members get an additional $1,200 bonus. Only at your Alberta GMC dealers. Good night. Enjoy Game 7.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game day, the Edmonton Oilers looking to keep their playoff run going as they're in Vancouver taking on the Canucks. Game 7, puck drop around 7:20. Stuart Skinner gets to start between the pipes. If you're looking for some pregame coverage, keep it locked on the Oilers Nation YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook stream. Pregaming with Bordsey gets going in about 5 minutes time. Major League Baseball, the Jays victorious earlier today as they knocked off the Chicago White Sox 9-3. Also, the Padres beating the Braves 6-5 in game 1 of their doubleheader. Game 2 right now, the Braves lead 2-0 in the top of the 4th. Elsewhere, the Guardians have a 3-1 lead over the Mets in the 5th. In the 4th, Twins trail the Nationals 2-1. You've also got the Marlins and Brewers scoreless in the 3rd. Scoreless between the Red Sox and the Rays. And the Yankees up on the Mariners 2-0 heading into the 2nd. Still to come tonight, the Royals host the Tigers, Orioles in St. Louis. Astros take on the Angels, and the Diamondbacks head to Los Angeles, taking on the Dodgers. One game today in the CFL's preseason as the Rough Riders defeat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 19-12. The Edmonton Elks making a move, signing American quarterback Cole McDonald. He returns to the CFL after spending parts of the 2021 season with the Toronto Argonauts, and most recently played in the XFL with the Houston Roughnecks. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. We've got Fox Sports Radio coming up tonight, and then local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. on the Kevin Carius Show. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Jump into spring with a leap of faith and a special offer from Trademark Concrete Lift and Leveling. Book now and enjoy a 10% discount on our concrete lifting, void filling, or foundation services. It's our way of saying thanks for choosing the experts in elevation. Don't wait. Spring special is on for a limited time. Visit trademarkleveling.com or call 780-691-LIFT. That's 780-691-5438. Trademark Concrete Lift and Leveling, where your ground gets a new lease on life.
What's new this spring at R&D Hot Tubs Camrose? It's a long list, so let's get started. In addition to featuring the best in Canadian-made hot tubs and swim spas from Hydropool, R&D now offers concrete services. We pour concrete pads for hot tubs, swim spas, or back patios. We also build decks and other backyard structures. Call for your free consultation or stop in. And more great news, we've extended our hours on Thursdays, 9 a.m. till 7 p.m. Join me, Celine, and Rupert here at R&D Hot Tubs Camrose, rdhottubs.ca.
Weed Johnson, whoa.
Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson here. We all know how unpredictable Edmonton weather is. Extended falls to late winters, and who knows what spring and summer will bring. Regardless of the outdoors, your indoors will be comfortable with Weiss Johnson and Goodman. Whether it's a new Goodman air conditioner, heat pump, or furnace, using our expertise, we'll give you the best quote on Goodman products